All right,
I,
three, two,
no, not even three,
one.
two, one. I already started the stream, bro.
Are we
When
live?
did you do that? How long have we been live? Every fucking
10
time.
minutes. Yeah, the whole time we've been
Every
in
time with
call.
this guy.
Wait.
Little does he
Are
know
we
I
live?
do it on purpose.
This is why I always cut out like the first minute or so of our streams because it's just like
Oh
me
yeah.
going over and over again, like, are we live? And just like confused ramblings.
Yeah.
This is episode 5, 6, and 7,
Okay,
right?
he did
Yeah.
he went live as soon as you started counting, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Death Note time.
Yes, Death Note time. Yeah, so Iron is sick, so Lulu and I are gonna probably have to take point this time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lulu, thank you for your sacrifice.
Oh no.
I mean,
I'm-
I have I'm not going to be doing a lot of the deeper discussions because I'll let you two do most of that.
Okay.
I think
I mean,
I think we do the just broad like the broad talk first.
yeah, for sure.
While I queue
But
it up on the browser just so that I have the timeline of events right. Because
yeah, but
I know these 3 episodes,
well,
but
here's the
I
thing,
always
right? Sorry, I was just gonna say, I'm even though I'm letting you lead, I still have like I still took really good notes. So like, if you miss something I think is important, I'll be like, hey, do you want to go over this? So like that's
yeah,
kind of how it's going. Yeah.
that is true. And to be fair, it is easy because these 3 episodes go into each other very well anyway.
And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the stuff with Light and the detectives don't really need to be go over that much. It's
I think
I feel like there's like
No,
only a
it's
couple
pretty
of
brief.
things. Yeah, because like
well, so there's a lot of character stuff, but I think you can kind of hold off on that a bit.
yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say. There's a lot of like foreshadowing of like quirks of Light and like some character dynamics between the police officers, but like they're too brand new to really go into it if you haven't seen the whole show yet. So it's like
Yeah.
you can just kind of point it out and then move on. But
Oh,
yeah, Lulu, this is your
what
first
did
time. You go.
first, Lulu? Did you know that Shinigamis like apples?
Oh yeah,
Whoa. Totally didn't know
that's
that.
one that's one of
I actually didn't know it
the
was
biggest.
Shinigamis. I thought it was just Ryuk.
Well, yeah, right.
Oh, well,
So,
it is
Ryuk is
Ryuk,
a
but
Shinigami.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, Light only knows one Shinigami, so like his
Oh.
entire
Yeah.
temple
Yeah,
size is
obviously
one.
That's
he's
fair. That's fair.
stereotyping.
But yeah, it's a big meme in the Death Note community. It's up there with take a potato chip and eat it.
Oh yeah. Is that an actual line in the fucking show?
Yes,
It is in
we'll
the
get there.
dub, I believe.
What episode? What episode? I need to know.
I think I think it's in the
It's.
sub too, dude.
I think I can't remember if the
I'm
line.
gonna
It
take a
probably is,
potato
but it's
chip
probably different.
and eat it.
Yeah, it's probably a little
Yeah,
less
it's.
like
If I remember, it's. Wait, I can't say that because Lulu hasn't watched the other episodes.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
get there.
coming up. It's coming
Yeah.
up.
Okay. I'm excited.
So,
Yeah, but
Lulu, what do you think of these episodes? Because you haven't seen them before.
I like how they're like L focused, and then like when they're not L focused and we see Light, it's like Light actually like doing like insane like problem solving. Like he's just like, shit, I have this problem and this problem's gonna like fuck me in the ass if I don't solve it. And so like the whole like 2 episode arc is like him doing all this shit to like prevent like one like little thing to get like, okay, so basically he's trying to prevent one piece of information from getting to L, but in order to do that he has to like fucking commit mass murder on the FBI, and then we have like the FBI agent's like wife later on. And so like he's like doing all this just so L doesn't get one little piece of information. which is
Well,
insane.
he doesn't need the information for the thing that is it's a case of he takes a massive risk with killing the FBI, and because of that, that's when somebody he didn't predict would be involved figured out this information, and he doesn't want it to get to L
Yeah.
because there's multiple other points that like will lead to him directly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention is the FBI stuff he was killing just to get them off his back.
Oh yeah,
And
true,
then
true.
the consequence of that was the FBI wife that fiance, and then that was the whole the end of I think episode 5 was like Light and L both saying this one thing. I just need one thing, and like Light was just trying to find the one thing that he might have missed, and he found it in Ray Pembar's fiance,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
she figured out the one piece of information. Well, rather multiple things. Like she had the one piece of information that could lead to his identity, while also knowing a key piece of how the Death Note works
Yeah.
that Light
Shit.
hasn't realized or L hasn't realized yet. Here's the thing that was
She
going to
is
blow the
the
whole thing
first
open.
person that this is actually a really important bit of information. It's kind of uh, very important. It's because as far as the police know at this point, the only way Carol can kill is by heart attacks, and even that information is actually almost kind of. I feel like Light can actually survive that, but the problem is that at that point, anything that's actually been close to him has been through things outside of a heart attack, like the biker guy and
Bus driver.
Bus checking.
bus driver,
Or not bus driver, bus jacker. Yeah.
Bus
bus
The
jacker.
guy
driver.
who jacks off
Yeah.
buses.
Yeah, well, yeah, because all L would need to do, even if he got that piece of information, would be
Lulu, you
like
wanna
look into like deaths around the FBI agents, and then you'd see this jacker.
bus
And
checker?
L
You're
would
gonna,
definitely put that.
you're gonna end up jacking it in San Diego. Jacking it, smackety smack. Jacking it to the Lord. I love South Park songs. They're so funny. Oh yeah, but I'll get my other South Park reference out of the way. When Rangi wrote my name in the Death Note episode 7, he decided to give me AIDS, and I'm not just sure I'm HIV positive.
Gay turbo AIDS specifically.
Oh my
But yeah, that was the in South Park. Cartman wrote Kyle or not wrote. He gave Kyle AIDS in one of the episodes, and because he had AIDS and like Kyle thought it was funny or something, so Cartman gave Kyle AIDS as well, and and so they both have AIDS and they're trying to cure it. They ends up there's a whole plot about going to Magic Johnson's house, but anyway, um, but every time they ask do they have AIDS, Cartman goes, "I'm not just sure, I'm HIV positive." And Kyle just like, uh,
That's amazing.
oh yeah, I love South Park. But anyway, you two can get to start from episode 5.
Yeah. So yeah, we start off in the aftermath of episode 4. Actually, basically after the bus jacking happened, the bus jacker's been killed. The police have well, I don't even think the police have shown up yet. I think it's just like people calling the police because obviously they would.
Yeah.
The police haven't shown up yet because Ray Pembar actually comments that he needs to get out before the cops get here.
Yeah,
Like he's on the
he
cover.
and Ray, the poor man, this poor guy. Also, his fiance is a much better cop than he is. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, he admits it himself in the hotel room. He said, "You were a much better FBI agent than I ever was, but you agreed to retire, so leave this to me."
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ray is kind of just what. This is the interesting thing with Ray. I think he's an interesting character, but he is also immediately like, well, I can't be here because if my name shows up in a report, somebody's gonna know that we're trailing like cops, basically cops' family members.
Right.
Yeah, like he gets out of here, and it's funny. Light even muses on this. He's just like, "Yeah, this works out for me too." Because if this came up in a report, I might be suspicious as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you guys about was him saying of I won't tell my father. Was that a potential slip up? Like, why would he? Was he just saying like in general he won't tell anyone, even his father, or like did he like mean it as in like my dad's a detective? But like, why would this FBI? Why would he know that the FBI agent knows that his dad's a detective? Know what I mean?
Well, because the
Well,
FBI agent specifically does say that
he
this needs to be a secret from the Japanese police, and Light's
Yeah, no,
dad
but
wait,
is a
wasn't
yeah,
the
detective.
FBI
yeah,
agent
but
in
why would Light know that the FBI agent knows who Light's dad is? Like Light knows that he's spying on him because his dad's a
I,
cop, but why
I
would innocent Light know that?
well,
I think it's a very easy assumption to make. It's just like, oh, okay, you were trailing me, and you
I
don't
want
need
know why.
want
Why was he?
the.
Ray never admits that he was trailing him, right?
Yeah, he does. He doesn't. But well, it's like you were here where I was, and it just so happened you can't let the Japanese police know. Okay, well, it probably has something to do with this case. That's a reasonable assumption, I think, to
I
yeah.
make.
don't. I disagree. I think that makes it seem like it's more suspicious because remember he was just in a traumatic event, and for him to
Uh,
rationalize all that so like calmly and like
uh,
quickly, I get that he's
uh,
a calm person, but even still, like the fact that he have all that ready to go, like I don't know. I feel
remember,
like
Light has a record of helping the police with investigations
no,
before.
I get. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he couldn't talk his way out of it. He's obviously very good at that. But I'm saying I feel like that was just potential slip up on his part to even put himself in the position to have to talk his way out of it.
Yeah. Maybe a little.
Anyway. That's all I
Oh,
want to say.
oh no, no. Well, all he says is, "I won't tell anyone," because Ray Pember specifically says he has to hide his thing from the cops, and all Light says is, "I won't tell anyone, including my father." I don't think he.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
I
the fact that he specified his father, I think, is a bit of a slip up.
mm,
I mean, you can agree to disagree. I just, if I was Ray Pembar, I'd be like, wait a minute, why would you say that? Like,
well,
you
no,
don't.
I feel like
Why would an FBI
if you're
agent
asking
know? Why would an FBI agent know
if
that his
you're
random
some
kid's dad is a cop?
yeah.
I mean, like, why? First of all, why would Light, as a Japanese school student, assume that an FBI agent is tracking him? I don't think that's like a good a common conclusion to jump to. Like, I feel like you can't
I
really rationalize that. Remember, this isn't Japanese police trailing him. This is an FBI agent. It's not even the CIA. So, like, because remember when Light first found out FBI people were tracking him, he was shocked. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't think he could calmly assess that like an FBI agent was tracking him across the world.
I think at that point it's just you don't know how much Light knows specifically. Light could know that because it's reasonable to assume that Light knows the Cura investigation
But the
is
cops don't know the FBI agents are here. That's the whole point.
yeah, but
So
Light well okay, what I mean is okay, Light knows that the Cura investigation is being handled to some degree by his father. The F that's an international like case with international interests involved.
but
It's
here's the thing though, because then
reasonable to assume
it's not
it would
reasonable
probably
to
stand
assume
out. Well, and it would
because
also probably stand out. And I'll
because
say
why?
this too: Ray
Because remember,
Pember just saw a man die. He is probably not in a calm state either.
yeah, no, I know that the slip up didn't lead anywhere. That's not the point. I'm just saying that like I think it was an obvious slip up, and if Ray Pembar was I think if that was his fiance there, she would have caught him immediately.
Oh,
Like I think
she definitely would
because she'd
actually.
be like, "Wait, why would you say that?" And he'd be like,
Well,
and then because like any way you try to slice it, like, why would it be reasonable to assume that an FBI agent is tracking a high school student in another country, all the way on the other side of the world, because his dad is a normal ass cop who might somehow have relations to the Kira case? Like, that's just like, why would a high school student piece all this together? Because remember,
Well,
his dad hasn't told him yet that
it's
what he's
funny because
doing.
I actually agree with you because uh she already kind of has some like suspicion when he returns to the apartment there. You can actually
Yeah,
tell she starts putting together the thing immediately where it's like,
yeah,
"Oh, you happen to be involved in a bus jacking while you were
yeah.
trailing somebody."
And she would
Oh,
have immediately,
yeah, her instincts are kicking in immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's like a nothing burger because it was Ray Pembar, but like if it was his wife or fiance, because I guess they haven't married yet, like she would have pieced together all the
Yep.
clues, and then that would have been the last piece of evidence. Like, huh, weird that he thought to mention his father specifically as a cop when like I didn't let him know that I was here because I was trailing him. Know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that would have
Uh,
been GG's for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
I
well,
did,
it's interesting because the scene right immediately after that is the fiance and Ray talking, and yeah,
Mhm.
the fiance is immediately like, "Hold up a minute."
Also, if Ray would have gave her his name right then and there, it would have been
Yeah,
game
no,
over.
light's done. Light is done. He is extremely lucky that Naomi did
Mhm.
not he, get told his name.
Yeah.
I just want to
There's a
say,
there's a going.
Oh,
oh
Lulu.
no. In the chat, Granola donated $2, said freak note. That's the porn
Bro.
parody.
Oh God. Oh no.
Ryu can light have gay sex on that one. Anyways, continue.
Oh, why'd you know that?
I don't know. I'm just assuming.
How'd you know? My God. But anyway, carry on.
Hey, you were the one talking.
Oh, oh shoot.
Yeah,
That was probably just something more about what we were. Another thing, how like his Ray's fiance is a better FBI agent or something.
Yeah. Do we know why she
Uh,
retired?
she wanted
well, no,
to stay at home
basically
mom.
because they're getting married. That
Oh,
is
Yeah,
the
okay.
reason.
yeah, they're gonna get married, have kids. She'd be a stay-at-home mom kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, that's the idea. It's like, is like them. She's sacrificing her career because they want to have kids,
Mm.
which,
hmm
yeah, is the kind of normal thing, you know.
Yeah.
Especially since she's Japanese. Like, if she was an American, she'd be like, I want to still work. You be the stay-at-home dad. But like, her Japanese wife's not gonna
Ah,
not gonna do it.
Japan doesn't have like they don't
They're very traditional.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
yeah, they
They're
are very
probably,
traditional.
they're probably the most traditional first world country in the world, I would say.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm, probably one, at least one of them.
It's either them or like South Korea.
Iron got the gay turbo AIDS from Lulu.
Yeah,
uh
it's true.
damn, Rangy tried to one up the freak note donation.
Are we all doing this
No,
now?
no,
Alright,
I
let me
just want
donate
to
myself
close.
$10 and then YouTube takes a cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just losing money there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I'm at least super chatting for the meme.
Kids up that
And I know Lulu that your
damn.
audience is too broke to super chat over
Hey. Fuck you, you're right.
that. Look, they spent their money on Dexter box sets.
Yeah. Yep.
When
Even
they
though
could have
Granola's
bought
never seen
waifu.
Dexter.
Yeah, they could have bought waifu merch instead. It's
Yeah.
horrifying.
Dexter body pillow.
Dexter body.
Actually, I was gonna try to buy a Dexter cardboard cutout, but I literally couldn't find one.
Yeah.
Anyways, uh,
I sent
I
one
don't
as
even
well.
like isekais mostly. Like, that's the
what?
funny thing. I was reacting to Iron's super chat.
Oh, Rangy
He
likes
gave you
isekais because he's
$1.99. He's
gay.
too. Iron is too poor and too gay to even give you $2.
I have reverse
Yeah.
Cuomo body pillow. You know what? That's just as good. That's better, actually. That's better. What is isekais?
Uh,
Anime.
Is that
basically,
like a
you end
loli?
up in another world. Yeah, it's the animes like the reincarnated in another world type
Oh,
genre.
okay.
It's they all have gay names, like the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Shit like
Oh,
that.
do you not know? So there's a reason that this
Uh,
this naming scheme actually happens, and I've been researching this, and this is why. Uh, so because a lot of them are light novel adaptations, and the Japanese light novel industry, it is actually so saturated that rather than just coming up with like an actual title, that they just tell you exactly what the story is to try it so that people will see it and get interested.
what?
Yeah, it is that saturated, the
That's
light
lame.
novel industry, and it is lame. It
And the
is lame.
stories usually suck. It's like one of the
Yeah, well,
shittiest.
but this is why you get like titles like "I was reincarnated as a refrigerator on the
Dude,
third
dang,
floor
that's
I'd
of a
watch that.
dungeon."
I'd watch
dude, that was
that.
so funny because that was actually going to be my joke instead of slime. But I was going to say refrigerator.
I
What
know.
crap?
I read your mind. You misspelled refrigerator.
But back to Death Note, Rengi. You were at the bus stop. You want to take point again?
Yeah. So you have the bus stop. Uh, you have basically Ray Pembar is telling Light that, oh yeah, you know, I can't be identified by Japanese police right now. They can't know I was involved in this, and Light just kind of accepts it. Which, yeah, I actually kind of agree. It probably is a minor misstep. And in fact, uh, I think that the fact that this whole thing was a very risky move by Light in general. But I also, but yeah, as far as the situation goes, yeah, Ray Pinbar is like, okay, uh, I have to leave. He doesn't pick up on that, and then he goes, and from there we go to his hotel room where we meet his fiance for the first time, and he tells her that about the fact that, oh, there was a bus jacking, and she seems to immediately think like, oh, well, this is suspicious. Like, she seems to be immediately suspicious of this whole like situation happening.
Yeah. And then he like brushes it off. He's like, no, no, no,
He
no.
does well. So in the actual sub, his line is just Japan has become a scary place. Like he's just shrugging it off.
That is not what he said in the dub.
What does he say in the dub? I
Um.
didn't have time to watch the dub this
Oh,
time.
he said like. I think he says like I thought we lived in a nice area, but maybe like this just happens sometimes. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So well, that is probably actually a worse line because it's very clearly a hotel room.
Hotels can be in bad
Is it
areas.
a? That's a hotel room.
Yeah,
That is definitely
Oh.
a hotel room.
yeah, because they're staying there, but they're gonna
Well,
stay at her
there's two
parents'
beds.
later.
There are two
Yeah,
beds. There's two
yeah,
beds.
and you can tell because there's the chair in the corner, the famous yeah.
The
we,
the
we
Gooner
yeah.
chair,
I was gonna try and keep this stream a bit more buttoned up, but
the
Rangy
cuckold
went ahead and made the
chair.
joke. Yes.
Just say. Well,
can't
not only is
even
there
try
the
to
cuck
pretend to be a
chair, but there
professional
is
on
the second bed.
here.
It's
So if it was their bedroom, that would be really weird.
it's a love motel.
Well, I mean, either at her hotel room or like her parents' houses look like that, so it's definitely a hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess I
it
never
just looks
noticed.
like a hotel room to me, in
Oh, no, it is a
general.
hotel room because like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you can see like there's a view from the window, but yeah, they're there at the hotel until they go and see her parents, right? Never actually meet the
Yeah, yep.
parents in the show, I believe, right?
I don't think they ever do. No.
Yeah, because he was joking about how he's more scared of her father than Kira, which is like probably pretty accurate because Japanese fathers can be pretty intimidating.
Actually, because the light does wait a while, I can believe they probably did, and then Ray actually got killed after that. I can believe that's probably what actually happened.
Maybe I mean within 8 days, it's like a time frame that could go either way.
Yeah, it's a time frame that could go either way, but I have a hard time believing because they've already been there. I don't know, because he's
He,
also been like, because the reason that that light waited so long was actually because he wanted to wait so that they have time to like be investigating other people.
I get that, but I mean he probably only investigated like one or two other people at most after that. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
probably.
I feel like Light probably should have waited a bit longer. I feel like I get that he didn't want to like let him get away kind of thing, like slip through his fingers, but like 8 days is not that much time to put suspicion off of Light.
No, it really it that's another one of those things where it's like, well, especially because if you actually know a lot of like police procedure and stuff, what would have probably happened is because Ray made contact with Light, he would naturally report this to like his higher ups. He'd get reassigned because Light would recognize him. Somebody else
Yeah,
would be like on Light while Ray Penbar is on another person.
yeah,
And at that point, Light would get caught.
yeah. But
So
obviously, it's a bit
yeah,
different
but
playground
yeah,
here because most criminals
yeah,
don't have a death note.
yeah, and also it like I said, it's one of those things of the the FBI doesn't have a lot of. You can also justify this as the FBI doesn't have a ton of like people here in the area. You know, like what? How many would they have? Did they have? I think they say it's probably what, like 30 something people. It's like a couple
30.
12.
dozen.
It's
Some.
12 FBI agents, right?
Oh, is it 12?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so I said
It's
like
it's
It's 12.
it's a
14.
small. Yeah. It's like, okay. So yeah, it's like
It's
12
12.
investigating like a a couple hundred people at most.
Why didn't Light
Yeah,
just
it's
360 no scope L? Would have been so simple. True. Can
Well,
uh
it is simple. It's because uh, L would actually just dodge. He is that. No,
he's
no.
that goaded.
Light would try to 360 no scope him, but L's posture is so bad, the bullet would go over his
Yeah, he's got giggity posture.
head.
Shout out to Granola for that joke. Um, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. So after this, we do get kind of the awkward This is actually one of the things I find awkward is the two of you have the issue of the two of them talking and Ray saying something that the fiance obviously will already know.
Yeah.
fiance Naomi. I believe that's her name, Naomi.
What they do
I'd
they
say
pull an
that.
as you know situation?
And that
Like, you know,
is
and like
basically what the dialogue is between them. It is, as you
yeah.
know, it's yeah, it's Ray kind of like talks to
I
her
will
about
say,
like.
Alright, I'll be back in
I was
1 second.
gonna.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's worse in the dub than it is in the sub. I think the sub just kind of has him like shrug it off.
I was gonna say in the sub too, I wasn't very impressed with the exchange of dialogue between those two characters. I think the writer of Death Note didn't do his best work in
Yeah, this is.
scene. I think the dialogue was pretty over expository. A lot of as you know. I think I mean the chemistry between the characters was there, but that could just be the voice actors. But like I feel like it was just not like he's a pretty strong writer for dialogue, so I was kind of surprised that he put up such a weak performance relative
I
to his
think
normal
it's.
skill.
I
Probably just
think
like
it's
he can only
because
put so much effort in every scene and just kind of put a little less one that one kind of thing.
I think it's also because I don't think he realized how just important this exchange actually is. Like, yeah, if basically, but yeah, it is kind of that too. Is cause yeah, Ray basically is like, oh, you were indeed once a excellent FBI agent, but now you're just my fiance, and so like, you're not an agent anymore. Leave it to me.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the way Ray phrases it is like, "Don't get involved, don't take any risks." It's like he's trying to protect her, but
It,
it's still
which
like
if she would have took his
it.
advice, she'd still be alive.
Well, the funny thing about that though is though if she had not taken his advice and then just happened to not run into Light that one day, he would she would have been alive and Light would have been caught.
Well, that I was gonna say is even though I think episode 7 is probably one of the best written episodes in the whole show, I do think at least for the first arc, he actually probably used the most coincidences that he's have. Right, like he does a pretty
Well,
good
episode
job.
6, well that's all episode
It's at
6 though.
7. Well, no, because there's like in 7, the cop puts his umbrella down as he's walking by Light, so he doesn't see Light. Like the umbrella literally cuts his view off of Light because he would have seen Light outside of. He knows who Light is. He would have been like, "Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Light."
I was gonna say true.
So like, yeah. So I think between 6 and 7, he definitely used the most coincidences to get some like cool payoffs, but like he didn't know how to write these coincidences. He
Yep.
didn't know how to get these payoffs without some coincidences, which is fine. I mean, like people, I think the people who expect zero coincidence stories, I think that's more unrealistic because coincidences do happen in real life. Right? It's just about how you use those coincidences to tell a story. You say a word enough times, it starts to sound silly, but I'm getting to that point. But you know what I mean, right? Like if you, it's all about how you write in the
Okay,
coincidences,
well,
how
yeah.
realistic there are to likely occur, how character motivations interact with the coincidences, how the payoffs interact with it, right? I think that's all pretty important, more important than the number of coincidences. I think that's my
I can agree there. Either way, I do think that this exchange specifically between Ray and his fiancee Naomi is actually probably one of the worst dialogue exchanges in the show.
I agree.
At least the first like 2/3 of the show.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like horrendous writing. It's not like something you would see on the CW where it just like it's laughably bad. But it's just like compared to this writer who's like very capable of writing very strong conversations with like complex ideas and pacing, or immaculate pacing. I feel like this one he kind of just half-assed it, is what it felt like.
Yeah, but it is also a case of we get Light and Ryuk after this talking, and this is where like Ryuk is like, oh, so are you gonna like write his name in the note now? And Light is like, well, no, obviously I'm gonna wait a week so that he has time to investigate other people,
Yeah,
or
which he
so that
probably
other
only would
people are
investigate like 2 or
investigated.
3 other people. Like, because he's got to be trailing each of these people at least a couple days minimum. So he probably got like 2 more.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, and even if you even with the fact that you have to assume like they don't know it's Ray Pember that was the leak, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's because that is the other like critical point of information is that Ray Pember is like the source of where the leak happened. Because all you'd have to do is like, oh, okay, well we just have to review all the info on Ray Pember.
Yeah.
And like who he's investigated, and that it'll probably give. Even if we assume Ray's investigation was like, uh, he did like a lot several people very quickly and cleared them.
That's why also Light kills all the FBI agents at the same
Yes, that
time,
is.
because otherwise it wouldn't be a very long short list. Basically, you just gotta be like, okay, find everyone Ray Penbar investigated. We're gonna closely hone in on them, which Light
Yeah,
would probably been one of like a dozen names.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. At this point, him doing that, if he killed just Ray, it would actually be that it's like Light is like one of like however many people, and even then I would still say this is still a mistake by Light. He probably actually would have been better off not killing Ray.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
I don't think the payoff was worth the risk in this case scenario. I think his previous risks were worth it. I think this is the first time he bit off more than he can chew, and you could see in episode 7 it almost cost him everything. Like he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so close to unraveling. Get it?
Yes, he unironically, yeah. This move actually, because yeah, even if he is taking, and I do like though that Light does like he doesn't like stay idle during this, and he's like still using like random prisoners in order to like not even experiment necessarily, but he's still following the trend and then having like prisoners write messages. And
Yeah.
at this point, it's just him trolling L.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Yeah,
Also, I
I
think.
like how keep going.
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like how in the middle of all of his experiments, schoolwork, normal killings, he takes the time out of his day to troll L. I think that's
Yeah.
really funny.
Well,
I guess you
to be fair, the trolling L does overlap with the killings anyway.
Yeah. I
true,
find it
but
interesting that
yeah,
he, in one of his letters to L, like, mentioned Shinigami is,
he's
and
trying to
then
Yeah,
freak L out. He's just trying
L,
to fuck with him.
yeah, I guess.
He's
L
he's,
was
he's
like,
trying to
is
get
he
in his
saying
head.
Shinigamis are real? Like, the fuck? He's like
Yeah,
confused.
well, yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say to be fair though, like let's say you're like an actual like detective, and somebody like mention you have Shinigamis come up in like a case. You're not gonna be like Shinigamis are real. You're gonna be like,
You're
Yeah,
like, this
okay,
like
well
guy's
that
fucking
was
crazy.
clearly them fucking with me.
Yeah.
Well,
like
yeah, or they're fucking with me, which is like what is actually happening, even though Shinigamis also are involved.
Bruh. Broken Bear headset said, wish Light used the Death Note on me after watching the Minecraft movie.
oh my god, he saw that. Are we
Yeah.
gonna review that at some point? I feel like we should.
The
Me and
Death Note
Granola are going to
movie.
go see it.
Oh god, no, the Minecraft movie.
Oh well, I wasn't going to review it. No.
And I was saying it'd be
Uh,
funny if we did a
Coward.
stream on it. But Then
Yeah.
that would require us to watch the Minecraft movie, which is might be a fate worse than death.
I do it, but I do it under duress.
Yeah, we could have Brokebeer headset on as a guest to talk about the movie.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
you know, he actually would be the best guest
He
of our
would.
little repertoire to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, see if you can get him for the death battle one. I think he'd be a great personality to have on that one.
Oh, yeah. I'll DM it to him after the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also in the chat, so I think he knows about it now.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. Cover your
I've
ears, headset. Go to
survived
the
and
DM.
endured the pain.
Uh, chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey. Flint and
He
steel.
does know nothing. But yeah. So, anyway, though, I believe after the trolling, so yeah, he's like trolling L, and he's like, oh, yeah, L is kind of getting the Shinigami message. And it's funny because L's like, oh, okay, this might be something. Yeah, have the prison watched, see if somebody else leaves a message. And I do think this is like L like confirming that. I think L does actually get something out of this because it's him like confirming even more so that that Kira can control the victims before death. Like,
Yeah.
he already obviously suspected it, but this is like confirmation because
Confirmed.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a message directly to him, you know, that's meant to troll him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, that's when we go to the subway, and that's when the real scheme of the episode starts.
Oh, when
Yeah.
he freaking
Yeah, when he approaches Ray.
yeah. Actually, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
He goes like I don't even know where this is. I don't know where this is, like a mall or something.
Mall or something. What?
A mall or something. I don't know. Out in like out in public.
I was gonna say, this is so this is like the way a lot of Japanese train stations are, from what I understand. They have like these little like mini malls in them.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it
That's
was a
common in
train
a lot of
station.
countries.
Yeah. Like
Well,
this is like so this is like an underground mall.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of countries
Connected
have
to a
those.
train
There's,
station.
I believe, I forget which city it was in. I think it might have been New York City, where they actually made one. I think it is New York City. They made an underground mall like this style of like various countries that do it. It was pretty cool.
I
They had
think
like a Moroccan section or something.
is it? Are you talking about where like the Isn't it near like the Twin Tower Memorial?
Might be. I'm not super familiar with New York City geography.
Okay.
I've been
I was
there.
just asking
Been
because
there
I
like
think I've
6 or
been there
7
too.
times, but
I might have been.
Yeah. I've been to some major cities that have this too.
yeah, it's pretty common. It's
Yeah. But anyways, Light approaches Ray and he says, yo, run me your pockets, bitch. I'm robbing your ass. And then he tells him, yo, bitch, I'm Kira. If you don't believe me, bam, that guy dead. Now you believe me.
yeah.
And then
He's like, watch this.
what?
Shazam. He's like,
Shazam.
watch this. Shazam. Dead
Yeah.
pedophile.
It's like, okay, that guy wasn't innocent, so it's all good.
It's like, if that guy isn't innocent, it's all good. But also, you probably did traumatize some innocent people there.
Also, light, even though the guy was
Wait,
never
Light's
found
black.
guilty.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah,
he.
you can't. You can't have light without a shadow.
Yeah, lights from the hood, bro.
He's got
Um,
those shades.
but he gives what's his name? Goofy. He gives the goofy ass guy an envelope.
Ray.
And yeah, Ray. And
Yes,
it has
yes,
like
say
a
what the
Ray is the
Japanese do.
FBI guy.
yeah, it has a
Ray
Ray is the
Incredible.
Fed.
walkie-talkie, as a walkie-talkie, an earpiece, and pieces of paper. And the dude's like, "Huh?" And then
Oh,
Light tells
so
him,
this is interesting too, because Ray, when he looks at the walkie-talkie, he notes that this is almost like a toy. But then he like realizes, like, wait, this doesn't have like a transmission record. There's not going to be any record. Fuck, he's thought of this.
"Yeah,
It probably is actually a toy, right?
Yeah, I think
probably."
it is like an actual like walkie-talkie.
But it was probably a toy one. They make like different
Yeah.
grades of Rocky. Like Light on his budget and his means, he probably did just buy like a toy one from like a gift shop.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
really funny. Like he's probably not buying like a military grade walkie-talkie. Like I don't think that's what he's got there.
That I think that's the idea. Well, that's why I
Yeah.
think that's the idea with why
It's not
Ray
traceable.
states it's like it's a toy. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
traceable. It's something that's gonna be like easily dismissed. It's something easily accessible.
Yeah, it's like it both fits Light's means and motive. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah. Well, I also really like when Light appears with Earth 2 after the pedophile dies. The way Light is very much using the fact that nobody knows all the details of the Death Note. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I could kill everybody here. I can also just kill your family.
Yeah.
So they're all consider them my hostages." They're all he's relying on the fact that Ray doesn't know any information about the actual powers he has.
Yeah.
Also, Light just assumes that this guy has a family because I mean, usually you're correct, but like it could have been a case of like I got nobody. Do your worst, and Light would be like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah, that would have been
What if this
funny.
was the
I
Punisher?
I think that's why he also has like mention of like I can kill everybody here.
Yeah, because he's like the family's a nice push, but like this guy might be like an only child orphan.
Yeah.
Only child orphan incel.
Oh God.
You just happen to pick the exact wrong FBI agent. No, not even incel, just like asexual. He doesn't have any like partners. He doesn't have any family. He doesn't have
So,
any like
Yeah.
friends.
so he's
Sounds like
he's
I
Todd
am.
from BoJack Horseman. Very funny.
Yeah, he
But
is Todd from BoJack Horseman. You're right.
yeah. I was gonna say it's like I haven't used a BoJack Horseman reference in a long
Oh
time.
my god.
It's been
Do
years
you
since
do
we
you,
did
do you
so.
guys mind continuing on? I'm just gonna step away for a minute just to take
Okay.
my dog out.
Spoiler
All
warning,
right,
Light
Lulu.
was actually Steve the whole time. The Death Note works by sending people to the Nether. Yeah, you're
Oh
right.
God.
You're right.
Did
Light
someone
running
say
these
that, or did
streets
you
for
make
real,
that
for real.
joke?
What?
Oh, I thought that was your joke you made.
No, I'm reading the chat.
I mean, you do
Wait.
make brain rot jokes.
Oh yeah,
So
so Headset said, "Wait, Light's black," and then Granola said, "Yeah, they can only see him with the UV light. That's why they named him Light."
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like he's like one of those films, old film technology where you have to like dip it in the special like ink to like be able to
Oh
decipher.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Light. Like he's so black that you have to dip him in the special ink so you can see him.
Yeah.
What I don't know what that's called. Is it just film reel? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, you want to take point?
Yeah. I'm gonna describe the plot like horribly so no one actually knows what's going on. Okay, so Light tells Goofy FBI guy, "Yo, go on the train and then do what I say or like I kill your mom or something." And then and so he gets on the train, he opens the envelope and then he sees like the pieces of paper and pen, and he's like, "Huh?" And then Light tells him, um, uh, take the open his laptop, look at a file of all the FBI agents that are on the
Well,
case, and
first,
then like,
first he had to write the boss. He tells him to write the boss's name because when he writes the boss's name, it prompts the death note to activate, and then
yeah,
he basically Light pre-wrote all the outcomes,
yeah,
and he wrote a special one for the boss to email Ray Penbar all the names and photos of the other FBI agents. So when he writes them out,
it
he can
appears
just
on
like
his laptop then, because like he gets
yeah,
emailed the file. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
then
that, so
he
yeah,
proceeds to write all their
oh man,
names down, and then and then
doesn't
and
he
then
tell him to like put it above his head and wait at least 30 minutes so no one can see him leave without it.
yeah,
Like he can, yeah. And that's when he runs into the Light, right? Because like he gets off and Light is just there, and he writes Ray Penbar's name, right? And he just like stares him down as he dies.
yeah. Well, his name. I'm assuming his name was already in the Death Note. It was like design like the way I viewed it is I think right before he dies it shows like the time. Yeah, it's just 4:41 p.m. So I'm assuming what's his name? Either he
Light.
is writing his name like in that moment, like off screen, or he like already wrote it like on that specific time. Cuz he steps off
Um,
and then immediately
he
like
probably had, yeah, I think he probably had everything but the time and name there because knowing Light, he's like, well, this might take longer or shorter than I expected, so I'll just like
Okay,
leave
true.
the
so
time open for the right.
naturally, you guys missed some things.
Oh my god.
Oh
We
boy,
don't
the
need to go
weeb's
into
gonna
every
Okay,
little
school us.
well,
detail, but okay,
to be
buddy.
fair, one of the major things that we all missed
Huh.
that is actually important is so Light talks about the fact that he can
Excuse
write the
me.
circumstances beforehand and
Yeah.
then
Oh
write the
yeah,
name in, and it works.
Ryuk's like
Yeah.
even I didn't know you could do that.
Well,
Which,
that's
to
But
just
be
like,
fair, why would Ryuk know? Because he would have never had a situation where that would have been useful. But
true.
it
yeah,
is also like, yeah, I didn't know that one.
yeah. So it's kind of funny that like Light's trying to figure out things with the book the Ryuk team know it can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, well, but it also means that basically, like, he doesn't have to worry about the 6.5 minute rule. It's like it's a
Well,
workaround of that
yeah,
rule. And
yeah.
so I believe that Ray actually had his name already written down. But as far as the FBI director thing, yeah. So he has the FBI director's name is written, and so he gets the email, and then he asks as he looks at each person's face to write their name in the book. And it's funny because
Yeah.
Ray is like, "Oh, well, why is this? What is he up to? What's going on?"
Yeah. And then it's
But yeah,
obviously
uh,
pages from the Death Note.
yeah, yeah. It
Oh yeah,
obviously is.
Lulu.
Yeah.
Is it you? Did you expect that first watch through?
What?
When because this is your first
Uh
time watching through, so like me and Rangi obviously knew it was coming, but like when you saw him like get those pieces of paper with
oh, I when I
little
saw the
cutouts in
page
them,
when I saw the papers, I knew they were from the Death Note. I just didn't know if like I didn't know if Light was gonna kill him or let him live. But I figured he would kill him because he already knows like too much by even like him doing this. So
well,
I
also
wasn't
him
The the
surprised.
letting him live would also
the
be like the biggest like a loose end
yeah,
ever
it would be
because
a red
Yeah.
flag. Yeah, and
yeah,
killing just one person or letting just one person live, both are actually just a major fuck up. But yeah,
yeah,
well, I also think
either
that
or, yeah, because it
so
singles Light
so
out amongst the FBI agents who are getting tracked, or you know what I mean, like
so
he'd be on the short list of whoever Ray Penbar was following.
Yeah.
a reminder: Ray is like, why can't I remember that name? I think Light wrote out the Ray's like fate in the Death Note well before the exchange actually happened. But well,
Oh, yeah. I understand.
especially because it assures that Ray would be here at that specific time, and everything is so coordinated. I think he had to have written it out in the Death Note
Oh,
beforehand.
dude, I never even thought of that. That actually makes so much sense. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
think you're
because
right.
you have basically you have the internal like dialogue for Ray, and he is like, "What? Why can't I place that name or
I
that voice? I know I've heard it before."
You know what makes that really creepy then? That like um that they're self-consciously aware of what's happening then. So like in episode 7, when she's saying all those things, her mind's probably like, "No, no, no." Oh god.
Yeah.
No,
That's
well, you're
terrible.
a reminder in episode 7 and in this, there's a trend that's showing. Uh, Light didn't have to show himself.
He.
I mean,
Wait, what are you talking about?
oh, when the
Yeah,
bloat.
after everything is written, it's like Light reveals himself right before Ray dies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Yeah,
just did
yeah,
it because
that's
he was
he wanted to
cocky.
gloat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to
Yep.
gloat. He's like he wants them to know before he kills them that he got the better of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
so he with both of them, he's like right before he killed them, he's like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yep.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, because it's funny too, because like, okay, let's say if I think that this somewhat was not in this case, but in the episode 7 case, I think one of the things you can criticize might be the rule about how it can affect their behavior before, but I think that the rules are loose enough with the Death Note to allow it.
Yeah.
To allow what?
But yeah, I'll talk about it when we get to episode 7.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so this, and I think this is like the bulk of the episode too, is like this whole like big scheme. So I'll just skip to,
It's like half
yeah.
of the
So
episode.
after
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
only about
after,
half.
yeah,
Right?
it is.
Because I
It is
after you
several minutes.
no, it's half the episode because the title cards
Oh,
come right after killing Pembar.
yep, yeah,
So there's still half an episode left.
yep. So yeah, Light does the whole like posturing after the kill
Is it
thing, which,
like in the it's kind of like in the Penguin. I got you, you son of a bitch. I
Yeah.
got
well,
you.
you know what's actually funny is I think that it's very much the fact that it's in the time period that this is, where it's like, early 2000s. uh they still don't have like complete universal like monitoring the same way they do now, and so I think that's why it works still.
Even now, dude, it's like security
Yeah.
systems aren't up to snuff with technology. Like
Oh,
a lot of these
but
places are
yeah,
using
but
security cameras from like 2008.
Asia has very good facial recognition stuff. They use facial
Is it
recognition
all of Asia
for.
or is it just China?
Well, I know Korea has it, and I'm pretty sure Japan has it, but
I know
I'm
China
not
and Korea.
completely sure.
I'm not completely sure about Japan, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
I was gonna say I'd be shocked if Tokyo doesn't have this the facial recognition software.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
would genuinely be shocked.
yeah, I mean, if American Walmarts can have it, then yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say like but yeah, either way, like it is one of those things I genuinely think that could have like screwed over our boy here. Oh, that's why. Hold on. But yeah. So then we get the FBI director specifically calling ill and being like, "All of our agents just died."
Jeez.
Yeah. He's like,
Also,
we're
hey,
backing
Al,
out. We're backing
bad
out.
news, buddy.
Here,
Bad
He's
news,
calling Al
buddy.
like, yeah, we're fucked. It's Jover.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
shown.
we're backing out. We don't want to be involved in this anymore.
Yeah, before you go on any further, I figure I'd just read the Death Note title cards. Death Note title card number 9. The human who touches the Death Note can recognize the image and voice of his original owner, a god of death, even if the human is not the owner of the note, which is we see play out in episode 4. Episode note title Death Note title card number 10. The person in possession of the Death Note is possessed by a god of death, its original owner, until they die. So, like we said, some of them are more important than others.
Yeah. Well, and some of them just come up to. Some of them are stuff important to that episode, and some of them are stuff important to future episodes. That's the other major
yeah.
thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes they're like,
Funny you said that after I read number 10s about future episodes.
What do you mean?
Anyway. You can continue going on with the
Yeah, so
FBI
yeah, the FBI is like they're like basically we're pulling out where everyone involved in the investigation that was over there just died. And I also feel like yeah, this is another thing because this is the actual reason that Light did this. Because like I said, if Light didn't kill Ray, I feel like he'd actually be in a better place. Because then it would just have 0 to go off of.
Yeah.
Also, I did have a question. How did Ray Pembar have a good enough internet connection to get a email from the United States on a subway?
Shut up.
You know what? I'll actually say it. Those government issue laptops,
Yeah, they
even
got
back in the
God-tier
day,
internet.
were decent. No,
Even like underground across the planet.
You know
Well,
what? You
there, like-
you have a point there.
Isn't there like government satellites that like allow connection like cross countries and stuff?
Oh,
Yeah, but
the
he was
problem
also
is that he's
underground.
underground. Yeah, the problem is the underground part.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I mean,
that big
it's
of a deal though.
it's not. It's totally a nitpick, but I just
Well,
don't think people
it
see
is
that
one of
email.
those things where Japan has also always been like, it's always been, as far as mobile technology and stuff like Wi-Fi and stuff, it's been like, it is a trailblazer. It wouldn't surprise me if I haven't looked into this, so maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't shock me that this is like, but like, I know mobile is like, has been like massive in Japan way longer than it's been massive in America.
Rangi, you're
So,
telling me you're not an expert in Japanese subway internet connection speed.
you know what?
We
You
found
know
his
what?
first
I'm not.
you're
I'm not. I'll
not
admit it.
you're not a real weeb. We're gonna strip you of that title.
Yeah.
I'm not in the like early mid 2000s. No.
But yeah, we're also asking you to know about that information about a particular time period as well that you don't live in anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think there's probably a problem there.
How much does
But
this?
have
what?
you considered Light wrote that in the Death Note that he would have perfect internet connection at that time?
Does he have the ability to do that?
I don't.
I don't think so
No.
because you can't do anything.
No, I
No,
mean, probably-
I
Probably
think Ray
impossible,
would have
yeah.
just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I think Ray would have just
I
had
will
a heart
have-
attack.
At
his
5:30
entire plan
tonight,
falls
I will
apart.
have 5G phone internet plan. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty useful.
I don't know enough about the internet at that time, in Japan, in Japanese subways to like comment, but it does seem a bit it does seem a bit like it would be awfully inconvenient for Light if he left his like laptop at home.
Yeah. Um.
Broken Headset said we're all cocky, don't lie. False. I have never once been cocky in my entire
Yeah.
life.
Okay.
Not
Sure.
even once. I
Sure.
am
Hey,
I
excuse me,
too am extraordinarily humble.
I'm not cocky. I'm narcissistic. Get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Uh,
I think everyone would be like how Light is, where you just like you spend like days trying to solve this like problem that could fuck over your life, and then when you finally win, you're just like, yeah, get fucked, idiot.
he's like
So,
he's like the
Yeah,
penguin.
but
He wants to
oh,
gloat.
that
He's like, I
reminds
got
me.
you.
I know it's a
Yeah,
spoiler, but I know there's
yeah.
like a similar thing talking about being cocky. There's a deleted scene that's like more popular than the fucking show itself. Is that like whenever we get to whatever that episode that's supposed to be in, is that worth like like that scene like is it worth talking about? I don't know if you guys know
No,
what
I'm not
scene I'm talking
aware.
about. I don't want to
I
like
do not.
what?
we'll talk.
Just,
We'll talk about it.
Lulu, you
Off
can
stream.
send it in DM.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
want to
I
I
was
don't want
gonna
to
say.
watch the clip again in case I spoil something
Oh,
for
yeah.
myself because while I know what
Uh,
is
I was gonna
happening.
say if it's supposed to be a future scene, we can talk about it off stream.
Or
Well,
we can just talk about it when we get there.
yeah, we can talk about it when we
Yeah,
get there because it's like I it's something like that was spoiled for me before I even knew anything about the show,
because I
and
haven't seen
it's like
this.
I know it's gonna
I haven't seen
happen.
this deleted scene, but I wouldn't. I think
I
I've
haven't
heard
either.
of it. I probably have seen this deleted scene, but I don't remember it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But so we
Light
have
says farewell to Ray Benba.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
So,
then
this is the other thing. With this scene with L, with him getting chewed out by the FBI director, is immediately after that you get Chief Yagami calling him, and
yeah.
it's clear. Okay, the FBI director called him too, and
Yeah.
he's now like, wait, why did you have FBI agents following my staff?
Yeah.
That's a total violation of bro code.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and then the Light's dad gives like a big speech to the police department saying like, "Yo, gang, I know like we're kind of fucked, but like we need some brave soldiers right now, and if you ain't like willing to die, then you can like go home, and I won't like I'll respect you for that decision
Yeah.
and won't
Yeah.
be mad
I
or like
call
demote
bullshit.
you."
He's like, he's like, I won't lose any respect for you. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't buy that.
Well, no,
He's
he
totally
doesn't
judging
say
them.
that.
As a family man, he
What
probably
he actually,
understands though.
No,
yeah, no,
I'm
I
messing
think he
around.
definitely understands.
Oh,
No,
he totally understands.
what happens is he's talking. So he's talking to L. L basically like explains like what happened there. Even if I don't know, L doesn't explain it there.
Yeah, he
But
explains it
at
later.
Yeah.
yeah, he does explain it later in the hotel room in person. But basically after that he does give the speech, yeah, and well, we get the police gossip first, where it's like, oh my god, uh, like or Kira killed all of these like FBI people, and like you have that conversation going through the task force. And so it's very clear this is actually what Light's objective was. It's to like scare all of the it's to scare all of the cops out of actually
Investigating him.
yep.
Yeah, like to make them stop investigating him, basically.
And yeah, and also remember Chief Yagami is like, L, how can we trust you? You know, like you were investigating us. You know, you didn't tell anyone about it. And the police, meanwhile, are like, oh, yeah, Kara is willing to just kill anybody. It doesn't matter if it's L. It doesn't matter if it's criminals. It doesn't like basically just we are at risk.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually an important scene where it's like almost a realization, because this is an entirely. You have the fact that this is an entirely different thing, because yeah, technically you can die anytime in the line of duty as a police officer. You
Yeah.
know,
But
you
It's different to
can
be
like
targeted.
well, also it was like
yeah,
also before this, it was like, okay, Kira clearly is only killing criminals, and then suddenly 15 fucking FBI agents drop dead, and they're like, okay, so he has no problem killing cops. Got it. So yeah, that was like the big turning point, because I feel like before they're like, oh yeah, he could kill us if he wanted to, but like he's not going to. And then it was like, nope, he will. He will.
well, it's also a thing,
So,
because you say targeted, but there's a there's also the difference of targeted by somebody who's like going to do a hit that you can like actually like do something about, which is
yeah.
already going to be like a massive level of intimidation, and targeted by a supernatural force where you could actually just die without even ever
Yeah.
like
He's just drop dead.
You just get
yeah,
smited.
yeah. Like, I absolutely understand why all of these cops are like,
I would have quit. I'm like, hell no.
yeah,
I
I
ain't dying in
quit
this.
too. Actually, I find it extremely admirable that 5 cops stay.
Only
do too.
5. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Well,
5
actually,
plus
no.
the
Wait,
6 if
isn't
you
it
include Chief
5? It's
Yagami.
5, but one of them quits like
Later
after.
on, yeah.
Well, it's 6 if you include Chief Yagami, but since one of them quits, it becomes 5 again.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the police chief, right? Yagami.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's necessarily the police chief or just head
He's
detective.
Yeah, I know he's the head detective on the case. I just didn't know what is it? Do we ever find out his police ranking? I don't know if it's that important, but I was always
Does
curious. Like,
Japan
is he lieutenant,
Let me
captain?
look it up.
does Japan have the same police rankings as America? Because it's
Probably not. You could
it's
probably have
sergeant.
like a comparison.
So it's I remember from Dexter. It's sergeant, lieutenant, captain,
Captain?
deputy chief, and chief. Those are the
Okay.
ranks, and then everything below
Yeah, I
below
don't think
sergeant
he's
is
like
detectives. So
Yeah, and then below detective is just like normal
police
officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's chief detective. I don't think he's chief of
Okay.
police.
Okay.
Also, I'm gonna be
So
a bit of a grammar
Chiro,
Nazi, Lulu, but you forgot to put a comma after 6 in
Shut
your
up.
title.
yeah.
You're
I'm
not
now
mad at
looking
him,
it
huh?
up because I want to know.
You're gonna farm engagement of people telling you that there needs to be a comma after 6.
Chief of the NPA. The NPA is National Police Agency. Oh, okay. So yeah, he is like chief of police.
Oh,
Okay, see,
okay.
I thought he might be.
I
Oh
thought
wait, no.
definitely thought he was high
Unlike
ranking.
comparable bodies like the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, the NPA does not have a police officer of its own. Instead, its role is to determine general standards in policing. Okay. Well, I assumed he was specifically Tokyo Police Department. Okay, but
I don't
no,
know.
he's like part of a national like police organization, I guess. Yeah, he's like the chief of a national police organization. So,
That makes more sense.
yeah. I don't know if it's one that exists in reality or not. I haven't looked into it, but we'll assume for
It's
the
not
sake of the
like
show it exists.
it's not
Yeah,
really that important to the plot,
it doesn't
anyways.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
I was gonna say it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. We're all nihilists.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what though? The next scene after the whole like the speech to like all this people is actually the scene with the family.
Which is, yeah, a pretty important scene.
Yes, it is massively important. You have the mother and Light's sister.
Yeah. I
They're
always forget
both
their names.
like, yeah, they're both like, "Oh, no, you shouldn't be involved in this. You could die."
And then Light's like, "No, I believe in you, Dad. Keep it up."
Yeah, he's like gassing him
Don,
up.
if you do get killed by Kira, don't worry. I'll make sure he's executed for it.
He's like, "I'll avenge you if Kira kills you."
I always wondered like if that like seemed like suspicious or out of character like for him and his family, but none of the other family members seem to say anything, so I'm guessing Light is just normally like that, where he's just like not
Yeah,
really
Light's
scared
kind
of
of
anything
got a.
or
He's kind of that kind of cool cat kind of person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is. So he does play into the like perfect like Japanese so this is like there's a trope in anime when it's like the student council president type, which is kind of what Light is, even though I don't think he is like actually the student council president. But it's like the basically the idea is the kid who's like hyper popular that gets perfect grades. This is actually one of the things that the American movie fucks up so big is
We're bringing up
the
the movie
American. Yeah, well,
every
okay,
stream. God damn it!
yes, I'm contractually obligated. So the idea with the actual anime is that Light is, as far as like the Japanese system goes and like how Japanese see a lot of this, he is the top of the social hierarchy
yeah, well, that
as
doesn't
far
have
as the
anything
high
to.
school.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That has nothing to do with his personality. I was asking if
Well,
like before the Death Note, he was always just like calm and like no care, no worries. He's like, oh, if you die, then like it's whatever, bro. So like it wouldn't be out of character for him to say that about Kira and then.
well,
And,
we
the
know
case.
in canon, he's helped the police solve
Oh,
other investigations.
true.
Yeah,
Dude, he's
so
all about Hakuna Matata, bro. Like, chill out,
Yeah.
yeah,
man.
I was gonna say he was probably like highly justice focused
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
before all of this. Yeah. Like but yeah, that is, in fact, that is one of the reasons that episode 7 can even happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, that receptionist kind of saved Light's life, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Because like him
Yeah.
making that comment gives Light so much ammunition in episode 7.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And I kind of like that uh this sort of like there's a bit of a setup to it in that way. When you know that information, you can kind of look at the scene after the fact and
Yeah.
be like,
Well, he
"Oh,
really
okay."
uses everything around him. Like he'll use every single like I said, I think Light reminds me a lot of the Penguin. They're very scrappy characters. They'll use what any information and means that they're exposed to get when they need to get done. They'll lie their ass off. They'll twist truths. They'll completely change personalities. Like they'll just do whatever needs to do to get the job done. And then they'll gloat after
Actually,
they get it.
one
Yeah.
of you two should probably make that video.
What the light Yagami.
Yeah, comparing them.
That's actually not a bad idea. I can add it to the ever-growing list of video ideas.
Yeah, and
I still have to make a video on the
that'll be
penguin.
stolen.
It might be a
Remember
little
that,
too late
Lulu?
now.
No, I could do
Yeah,
I
look.
could do a retrospective. Everyone likes
Oh,
those.
yeah, true.
Yeah,
I
like
was
the
gonna say
Penguin 1 year later. Oh
it
no,
would
please show my
probably
TV
be a
too.
good like comparison video. I actually think it would
No,
be.
I think it would be.
Because I
I'm
think
definitely gonna
I
write that
didn't
down.
consider this. I didn't consider the comparison until you literally said it.
Yeah, they just every episode because I recently watched the Penguin because it only came out a few months ago, obviously. But it's just the characters just they a lot of similarities, and I can't go into it more, Rangy, but knowing where the show goes, that like there'll be more.
Yes, I do. But even just this like early section of it, I can see what you mean. And
Yeah.
through the family scene, that's when we get like the more proper speech of
Hmm.
like, yeah, anyone who wants to drop the investigation, please resign. You aren't gonna be penalized for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is literally the thing. It's like you aren't gonna be penalized for this. If it does actually genuinely feel like Chief Yagami understands.
Yeah.
Light's dad understands entirely why. He's like, yeah, you might be killed off by Kira, your family might be targeted. I understand completely. I'd rather have you guys like chasing other criminals than like chasing Kira specifically.
Do they even?
Also,
Are they even chasing other criminals when Kara's just killing all of them?
I mean, there's
Well,
still an
yeah,
entire
they
other
have to.
police force. Like it's like they're just
I
a
was gonna
section
say
of the
they are
police force.
going to
Yeah,
be, yeah.
because they
Yeah.
literally said in
Um.
7 that like literally the entire police station was fucking empty. No one was working on
No, no. The
anything. So
No, I think it was the entire Kira unit is what they said, right?
oh,
Was the
okay.
country. I could be mistaken. I mean, do you remember,
Yeah.
Rangi? They said the
No,
Kira unit,
I
or
think it would be. I think it would actually just be a massive plot hole if the entire police station is empty. I don't
Oh, it seemed
think that.
implied
I mean,
that.
the receptionist was obviously there,
Oh
but
yeah, they had to be.
Well, you know what I mean though, because
yeah,
I don't think Kira could, in the time he has, write all the names of not only just all the Tokyo criminals, but all the criminals in prison as well.
yeah,
Uh,
Right.
yeah. I think it was just she was looking specifically for members of the Kira case, and at that
yeah.
point there was only five, and none of them were at the building because they're all with L. I think that was just kind of.
I think what's actually said earlier is there has been a major drop in crime rates. That is
Well, and there's also been a lot of cops retiring for fear of
yeah.
retaliation from Kira. Because like
Yeah,
even though
retaliation from Kira or retaliation because based off their career, and I think that's why this is actually a good move by Chief Yagami.
also speaking of Chief Yagami, the reason did you say the reason he stated like the reason he's not quitting is because like he would never forgive himself. Like
Yeah.
he's a very principle oriented person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he the way he says it in character is that he refuses to yield to evil.
Yeah, which is a pretty
He ref-
banging line. It's
yeah,
pretty bitchin'.
yeah. He refuses to surrender to evil because he sees Kira as evil. Because and
Right.
that's the funny thing. Because with Kira, all it takes is I think we've all heard of at least one case where it's like pending that it's reported on.
Yeah.
That's like
I
ended up being oh, the person was actually innocent. Like my big one to go to is like the Johnny Depp case, you know?
Mhm. Well, I guess more so that he was less at fault. I wouldn't say he didn't do anything wrong, but like it definitely like compared to her, she was the way bigger problem.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but if you just went off the original reporting of the Johnny Depp case, like let's be
Uh
honest, Kira would absolutely have murked this guy.
yeah. I think that's also something that people didn't like about the movie I don't know if I should say that because it's a spoiler, and Iron said he actually cares
Uh,
about spoilers for the movie when we watch it. So maybe I
Ex-
won't say it, but
to
I'll
to to
I
to
want to be
be fair, I don't
surprised.
think Iron has watched the movie, and
Yeah, I haven't. I want to be surprised.
I think the
yeah.
when we do get to the movie, especially because I'm probably going to see if we can get guests for that.
I'm okay. So something happens at the end of the movie that I'm like waiting to see happen in the anime, and I want to know like how different it is. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the funny thing is, I don't want to answer that because I just want you to go through the anime.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what it is like off stream, like in your DMs probably, so that I don't spoil anything for Iron. So yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But after this whole situation with the speech, that's when we get a scene of a certain woman who may or may not have been Ray Pembar's fiance, asking the bus driver from the from episode 4. Was it episode 4? Yeah, episode
yeah.
4. Uh, I realized we haven't even gone through episode 5 yet. Yeah.
No, because you keep
Uh,
wanting to talk about every little detail, but it's okay.
yeah, I wanna be thorough.
Yeah. I
Come
know. I
on,
know. I'm just kidding. Although I think the next
come on.
episode is kind of like a whole lot of nothing, so I could probably skim through that. Save
Uh,
time.
I don't, I don't, I don't know if I would say a whole lot of nothing. I think there's a lot of like
Well,
character stuff,
there's
but
some
I think
interesting
that's stuff we can get through quick.
there's some interesting L stuff, but besides that, there's not really much. Not like a lot of plot
Uh,
development.
so a lot of episode 6 is set up for episode 7.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. And that's why this is actually why I said I think we're just better off like keeping those two together because
Well,
it
yeah.
is a lot
Part
of
one, part
setup,
two. Yeah,
payoff. Yeah, it's set off and a setup and payoff. And
yeah.
so it's probably why when we get into episode 6 and 7, I actually think it's better to go over them kind of collectively rather than
I don't know why they. Is this like a common thing in anime where all the episodes are like really short for no reason when they could easily like
uh
combine two episodes into
20,
one?
20
Japanese
minute
television,
episodes
right?
are normal. So 20-minute episodes are normal, and 12 or 24 episode seasons are generally like the norm. I think it's
Yeah,
usually 24, but 12 is like the mid-season point.
yeah. I mean, Lou. I mean, to this day, most cartoons are still like 20-minute episodes because you have to have like 10 minutes of commercials. So
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of anime, yeah. I mean, look, uh, cliffhangers are like a normal thing in storytelling in general. What do you mean?
oh, so we're at the end of episode 5, right? Like all
Yeah,
the
yeah. We're just at like, yeah. What's her name? Is I said her name earlier, but yeah.
but we don't know her name in the show yet, right?
We don't know her name in the show yet, but we do know her name in reality. So
I think it's funny that if you watch the show in subtitles, it actually
Naomi.
spoils her real name. Yeah, Naomi. When she gives her
Ah.
fake name, it says Naomi says my name is this, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. The subtitles ruin the plot twist.
Okay.
Luckily, Lulu watched it in
Uh,
dub.
I was gonna say that depends on what subtitles you're using, because the subtitles I use don't give like the name of the person who's saying them.
I watch it on Netflix, so
Oh, okay. So I watched it on not Netflix.
Arr.
I yeah I went overseas to watch it. If you know.
I went over. I sailed the seven seas to watch it.
So Lulu,
Exactly.
did you suspect she gave a fake name?
um, yeah, because that's probably what the FBI are trained to do, right? So,
Oh, right, Pembar didn't.
well, he
No,
was kind of a
actually,
dumbass.
wait.
He thought about it we heard his inner monologue, and he was like, "Oh, I should give him my real name, otherwise, like, they'll think I'm like a phony or something, or
Well,
think I'm like a
so
He's
hijacker."
a phony.
So
no, it's not even just
a phony.
you're phony.
He's a
It's
phony.
I can't. So the way Light phrased it, it's I can't trust you. You could say any name. I need to see some ID if you're gonna like claim this, which is a reasonable thing that I think anyone would say, and that's why Ray Pembar had to show his like FBI ID.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene, as far as the episode 6 goes, it is, yeah, it's the fiance is like asking the bus driver about the whole incident,
Yeah.
and she confirms all the like the information. Oh yeah, Ray. So yeah,
Yeah.
Ray
Cause
was on the bus. This is the bus driver. This is the one. The bus jacking actually happened,
yeah.
and very clear. She has a point where if L actually with L's resources actually looks into, Light is just fucked.
Yeah. And I like that the show, like, what's it
Well,
called? Misdirects you.
actually, yeah. So specifically, what she says in her dialogue is also Kira was probably on the bus.
Yeah.
Are we still at the end of episode 5?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are at the end of episode 5 still.
Did you like zone out for a while or something?
Yes.
He's
To
falling
be fair,
asleep.
I think episode 6 is gonna go quicker because episode 6 is
That's
all
what I'm
set up.
hoping.
Well, six is pretty much just a segue episode between 5 and 7. 5 and 7 have huge stuff happen in them with the
Yeah.
death of Ray Pembar and Naomi.
Yeah, but I like
Yeah.
that the show like misdirects you where like the bus shit happens and then you're kind of like, there's no way he gets away with that consequence free. And then 7 is
But
where you
yep.
like see those consequences. So
Oh, the
Yeah.
funny thing is
Yeah.
though, there was consequences, but he got away with those consequences.
Yeah.
I would actually argue the whole next 2 episodes are just him trying to counter the consequences of that move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a domino effect. He does something, then it does something else like unintentionally, and then he has to fix that, and then that does something unintentionally. So like even though he's thinking everything through, there's always one tiny little thing that slips that like messes with his plan. So
Yep.
yeah.
You know what other show that happens in? Penguin.
Somewhat.
This
I
is
mean,
why
basically every
this is why
episode is
I
dealing
said
with
the
what happened in the previous episode.
one
in that
of you
show.
needs to
Yeah.
do the comparison video. The one of you needs to do it. You are
I'll do
obligated
it.
now.
I'll do it
What
eventually.
Penguin and Death Note?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
the
so
Penguin Death Note
goofy.
crossover. Yeah.
Dude, oh my
I
god,
doubt
Penguin's a
anyone's made that before.
Shinigami, guys.
Dude, imagine
Okay,
Oswald with the Death Note. Dude, he would go to fucking town on that thing.
Yeah.
What?
Basically, and Batman would be L because he wouldn't know how to kill Batman.
Yeah. It all makes sense.
But either way, so we get the aftermath of that meeting. We get basically, yeah, there's like five detectives left
Us L and Y.
after, yeah, outside of just Chief Yagami, and then Yagami is like pushing the fact that like, hey, we need you to work with us. How the hell can we trust you if you won't even bother showing your face?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're all putting our lives on the line. Would it be possible for you to come here? That's what it specifically says.
Yeah.
Yeah, and L is just like, okay, well, I do trust you all, and that's when he gives like the address
Of the
to me.
hotel he's in, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
one of the cops quits, right? He's like, I'm done with all
yeah.
these games, kind of
Well,
thing.
so yeah. It's the remaining cop quits, and I think he actually comes back later. I'm not gonna say
Spoilers,
when.
bruh. Lulu didn't know
Okay. I didn't know that.
that. Yeah, it's a fun little reveal. Boo, Rangy, boo.
Yeah, he comes back along with
Spoilers.
the Cookie Monster,
Spoilers.
and he
Shame
comes
him,
back with
shun him,
Iron
throw a
Madrill
tomato at him.
himself. Iron Madrill also makes an appearance.
Yeah,
Whoa,
I do.
really? There's a
Yeah,
monkey in
yeah.
the show?
Yeah, there's a monkey Shinigami.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Iron
He really likes chocolate
Iron
bars.
writes Lulu's name in the Death Note. This is all
Rangy,
canon information.
Rangy, doesn't the monkey Shinigami really like chocolate bars?
Oh,
Probably,
there actually is a monkey Shinigami?
probably,
Do they all have
Uh,
like an autistic like food obsession?
probably.
Rangy's trapped in the corner right now. He doesn't know what to say without being labeled a
Probably.
spoiler again.
Okay. Fair enough.
Uh,
I'm giving the autistic probably of like, oh fuck, I'm in the corner.
Maybe. I guess you'll have to keep watching.
Look, if you'd watched the whole
I'm about
series
to, I
by
swear to
now.
God, I'm just gonna binge the whole show on my fucking 15-hour
No,
bus
do
ride.
it. I mean, you might as well.
as long as you
You'll be
rewatch
Yeah, but
the
good
then
on
it's
the
not
episodes
bus
before
ride.
review them.
then it's not as interesting because then it's not a first time like watch for the
Well,
reviews.
you can pretend it is and pretend
Oh,
that
that
I'm
ruins the
not saying
magic,
this on
Raggy.
stream.
God damn it.
For the views.
Jeez. But yeah, I do get what Lulu's saying. It is really interesting because that's what me and Lulu did for Zom 100. It was like our first time watching it, so we kind of got to see what happened as we watched it. But this is
Yeah.
like that
But
on stage.
yeah, and it's also fun having like somebody who can be like, "Oh, are you speculating this? Oh, okay."
Which
Yeah,
was
someone who doesn't
you
know what's
both
gonna
times,
happen. Yeah.
Mr. Weave. Although
Um,
next time will
I
be
wouldn't want
the
to read
next
that.
show we do. I don't think any of us have seen, right?
Yeah, I
What are we
haven't seen
doing?
Monogatari. Mm.
Cat and a good
Yeah,
cat.
I haven't seen
What is
It's
Katanagatari.
that?
it's a samurai anime, but Cat and
Oh.
how do you say it? Katanagatari?
Katana,
Um,
yeah, Katanagatari.
What the
yeah, it's a samurai
fuck?
anime.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought we were doing Black Lagoon.
No,
No,
that's after.
and
What are
I
you
was considering taking that off, but actually, given
what's
our
Black
track
Lagoon?
record, Black Lagoon is a really good anime. But we'll continue on.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably get back to Death Note.
Yeah, so
Anyways.
we get to, I believe it's like the lobby of the police area, the police station, when the remaining guy leaves. Because yeah, they're all talking about the whole situation and like L and like he is very suspicious. They are the only ones like putting their lives on the line. Uh, L is like clearly using them as pawns, and that's why this remaining guy actually leaves.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh, Ella's just using us. Like, I don't really like. Bro's kind of a dickhead, and he dips.
Yep.
The dude
Uh,
would vote to leave the Squid Games.
well,
Yeah.
especially as especially as Chief Yagami points out that L was waiting for this to happen. Like L was waiting for these, but not even these specific people, but just to see who would like get weeded out by the risk of the whole like operation.
Yeah.
You think Light would be able to kill the front man?
No,
No, because
he
we
would
don't.
not.
Well, Maybe. I would say we don't really
No, he
know
doesn't. He
his
doesn't know the
name
front
for a
man's
while.
face. The
Or
face is
name.
the important thing there.
Yeah.
That'd be an
Oh,
interesting crossover, trying to see Light try and figure out who the front man is and kill him. It'd be a fun
that
little
would be
like
cool.
parody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because even if he learns the guy, he has to learn the guy's face and name. So he has to unmask the guy, and he has to
Get his name.
and get his name.
He can join the shitty detective team in that universe.
Oh, oh yeah, no,
Everyone loves the detective in Squid Games, right?
oh
Everyone's favorite
no,
character.
Wait, he's
no,
not
no,
that
no,
bad.
no, no.
He in season 1 he's not, but in
So
season
you
2
think
he
he's just
sucks.
annoying?
Ooh.
In season 2 he does nothing.
No, wait,
Name
hold
one
on.
It was
thing he
all
does in
set
season
up.
2.
It was set up.
Oh, you had to take. I
7
disagree with there.
episodes.
He's awful in
He,
both
he had
seasons. What do you mean, you retard?
no, because season 1 there's some interesting moments, and also there's still some stuff that was set up in season 1 that could have interesting payoffs in season 2 part 2. But in season 2 part 1, he literally does nothing of interest. He's just in like a bunch of scenes just there, which they all could have been cut, or at least most of them could have been cut because a lot of them are redundant. Anyway, we're not reviewing Squid Games, we're reviewing Death Note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, Chief Igami like brings up like information was leaked. Uh, L was clearly waiting for this point where like people were people were like leaking information and stuff, and that's the point where that one detective resigns that had been like willing to risk it because he feels like he's been toyed with.
Yeah.
And
And then I think
that's
that's
and
and they get to
after that, that's when we get like the lead up to the detectives are like waiting to like go and meet Elle at the hotel. They're told to like approach in a specific way, split into two groups of two. Or yeah, two groups.
Yeah.
Separated by 30-minute intervals to go to the correct floor.
and then it pretty much ends with the elevator door opening, right?
Yeah, well, no, it ends with them reaching for the hotel room door.
But yeah, same idea. The door's opening, and then they are about to see Al, and then the episode cuts out. That's the
Yeah,
cliffhanger
and
ending.
at that point, that's when we get to episode 6.
All right, you can finally change
Ooh.
the title card, or I know
Finally.
Lulu's been waiting for a while.
It's only been an hour and a half, you know.
Yeah, that I don't think that episode was worth an hour and a half discussion. Did not need to
I'm
be that
ranking.
long.
That was an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
well,
all
to
your
be
fault,
fair,
Randy.
let's give a 15 minutes for us fucking around. Come on.
Death Note X Call of Duty new score streak. Death Note 1050 points. Insta kill anyone you write down. New operators. Light on Crimson 1 and L on Black Ops. That's really funny.
Is this some kind of gamer joke I go outside too much to understand?
It's just
Yeah.
like Call of Duty shit. It's
No. You should have just said yes. Come on.
yeah.
The
Man,
last
you're
Call
not
of Duty game
chronically
I
online
played,
enough, Iron. Jeez.
I know.
Yeah.
Last,
How dare you have a life?
How dare you play
Uh,
shitty first person, or how dare you not play shitty first
Play.
person
What do
shooter
you mean? He
games?
plays Fortnite. Come on. He plays
I do
plenty of
play
He plays
Fortnite.
the
games.
worst one out of all of them. Oh my god.
Yeah. The last
Ignore
Call of
my
Duty game
own
I played
game
was
history.
Black Ops 3.
I was gonna
That's
say, ignore
fair.
my own game history. He plays Fortnite. Get
I
him,
put
chat.
the only Call of
Yeah,
Duty games I
fully
played were
lab.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and World War 2. Those are the 3 I
Not
played.
bad. Those are good ones, I think. Anyways, episode
No, I play
6.
more controversial games than you do.
You play
Controversial.
Chinese games to steal your data.
Everyone does. What do you mean? All. Do you know how many games Tencent owns?
Ah, That almost knocked me out of my chair. Holy shit.
Was that really loud? Sorry.
Yes.
I hope that shows up on the stream.
It will. My microphone's gonna pick up on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a Genshin Impact player or anything, I swear.
You like
that
those
was gross.
lollies. You like the lollies.
I mean, I'm neutral on them. I don't care. But I do play Genshin Impact, actually. That's the funny thing.
Broken VR headset said, "You go outside instead of playing Call of Duty? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
I do like that the next episode is just the introduction is just the police like dealing with who L actually is, because
yeah.
this is our first like official like meeting of local I said it before, it's my favorite autistic gremlin character in anime.
It's Rangi's spirit animal.
It is. It's just me. For real, for real.
Rangi had every anime we watch. There's one Rangi character.
Yeah.
The last one was the big boob German woman.
Yeah. I forgot about her.
Look,
Holy shit.
L, the big boob German women, they're basically the same character.
Oh
What
my
do you
god,
mean?
I just spilled water all over my keyboard.
Oh, good job. I did that like 2 days ago.
Shit. God damn it.
Fuck
Bitch.
you and your typing.
Fucking monkey. I hate you.
But so
Ooh,
one
ooh,
of the things I really like about this scene, is the fact that the cops start introducing themselves and showing their badges, and
Yeah.
L's
And L like,
immediate
bruh,
reaction.
what are you doing?
Yeah, well, no, L does like the gun. You know, he like does the finger gun, and he's like, yeah, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead."
Yeah.
Well,
I love
he doesn't
how
even do that. He just points to them as a group and says, "If I was Kiera, you'd be dead."
they when they walk in, they all just look at him. They're like, "That's Kira," or not that Kira. That's
But
L. And then
no, they're like, "Oh, that's L," and then L immediately points out like, "Yeah, the fact that you're all introducing yourselves to me, you've just killed all yourselves, all of you."
I'll be back in 1 sec.
Yeah, like because this is actually a major thing. It's like L has already put together, yeah. So Kira needs a face and a name to kill. You just introduced yourselves to me, and I can see you directly in front of me. Yeah, you're all dead right now. And the funny thing is, they're like almost like, "The fuck are you doing?" And yeah, and the moment he like explains it to them, they're also like, "Oh, oh shit, you're right." But yeah, a lot of this episode is just them dealing with the fact that yeah, uh, L is the autistic Avenger. TM. Where oh shit, am I the only one left? Okay, yeah. It's them dealing with the fact that L is the autistic Avenger, because he tells them like yeah, uh, Kira needs a face and a name, and he goes over that in detail. And Light's dad does actually confirm that. And one of my favorite lines of this whole exchange is where Elda's just say, "Let's value our lives," because it's like, yeah, you guys are making like a stupid mistake already. But yeah, Light's dad does confirm that the name and face thing was true, because they know that uh, criminals whose names were unknown or whose names were broadcasted incorrectly didn't die. He even says this was disclosed at the headquarters. So this isn't like an unknown thing. That's an interesting factor of it. It's like it already kind of establishes these guys are kind of nervous. Maybe they're forgetting like major details. Uh, we also kind of get we get a lot of interesting information where the cops are very like conciliatory towards L, and they're even kind of making their own conclusions that aren't even necessarily correct about L. Like L tells them to put their phones to the side, and oh, thank God.
Huh?
Uh, I was gonna say because I was left on my own.
Oh,
So
Iron wasn't here.
you know he's muted.
Iron.
Yeah, he's probably just dying of day turbo AIDS. Look, to be fair, he is sick. I'll give him that. But yeah, I was just talking about like L tells the cops, oh, leave your phones on the table. The cops are like, oh, do what as he says. And then we learn like L's just like, oh no, I just don't like cell phones ringing and interrupting me. But yeah, and then you get that Ella's clearly like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like,
You
yeah,
call it a weirdo.
he is a weirdo.
What?
I was gonna say, are you going to say that Elle is not a weirdo?
Oh no, you missed the joke. I said, "Who you calling a weirdo?" I was gone the last few minutes. That's what I came
Oh,
back
yeah.
to.
I say, yeah. I still think that who you call a weirdo, considering what came up on my screen, what the screen capture I was actively working on right there, works very well.
Like,
Who you
uh,
calling a weirdo?
who you calling Pithead?
But yeah, like so he actively like sits weird. He has like very strange body language. Uh,
He hunches over. He holds a cell phone weird.
yeah,
He rubs his feet when he's thinking.
He's very quirky.
Yes, that's a
yeah.
great way to describe him.
I'd say he's just an autistic gremlin. I
Why
see
his
this.
dog's out? Why his dog's out? No.
And lets him think. God damn it!
True. He showed us his feet for free.
For free.
You gotta pay.
We got to see all of the. We got to see all of the. I don't know what if feet fetishes called the toes.
I don't know. Dogs, doggies, puppies. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But
But we got it
yeah,
all for
feet
free.
models gotta be one of the weirdest professions of this century.
What?
Feet models.
Oh my god.
Probably not, to be honest.
Anyways.
He's like, I ain't touching
But yeah,
that topic for 10
this is
minutes.
the other thing. We see him like he like puts the sugar cubes in, and he like puts more and more, and he like puts
Which
like 6 or
Rangy,
7 sugar cubes in.
that's that has a little neat payoff in a later episode. It's a small payoff, but it's a fun one.
What does?
Him putting all the sugar in his tea. That's a little bit of a setup.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a little setup. That's why I'm highlighting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a huge payoff, but there is like that will come up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. This was like random shit ever.
Yeah. I mean, he's a random
Yeah.
guy. He's pretty quirky.
But I think the big important conversation in this, anyway, is where we get here, which is where I believe it's the
Oh
same
wait,
in the dub, but it's
before you
where
get to that, Rangi, I just wanted to say, his first line to them in person is "I am L," which is a nice little callback to his first line to them in the beginning of the show is "Greetings, I am L." So like His first line, both on the computer and in person, is "I am L," which I thought was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Well, his other big important line to them is "You're all dead."
Yeah, bang.
Yeah, bang. You're all dead. And he details specifically the fact that Kira needs a name and a face, and they just introduced themselves to him.
Yeah.
Like, and I fucking love that as like a setup for the character. It's just like, wow, if I was Kira, you'd all be fucking dead.
Yeah. Also, they apologize for being late. I wrote how Japanese of them.
Bro, you should just be late no matter what, and then nobody will expect better of you, right,
Yeah,
Iron?
that's how I do things. Yeah. Lulu can't even talk this time because he was the problem this time around.
What?
Rangi was making fun of me for being late, and I said, "This is the one
Oh.
time you can't jump in on it because you were the problem this
Yeah.
time around."
But in defense of Lulu, at least he didn't get gay turbo AIDS
Yeah, that's true.
I might have
from a male
turboids. I don't know.
stripper.
I gave him him in his sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but because
No.
I'm not
that's the
sure.
narrative.
I'm HIV positive.
Granola.
That's the narrative now. You got gay turbo AIDS from a male stripper.
Yeah. No, Granola gave me super AIDS when she pegged me last night.
Hey, pasa. Gee.
Okay, great, but what's the joke?
What do you mean? What's the joke? That's it. That's the joke.
That's the joke, Reggie.
No. That's the reality. What's the joke?
Yeah,
The
you had
joke
to
is
be
we're
there.
still not talking about Death Note.
No, you had to be there, Rangy. Anyways,
Yeah, you had to be there. That was in his wall.
Why do you want me to be there? Wait a minute.
you wouldn't get
Oh,
it, bro.
God.
You wouldn't get it. Anyways, yeah. So L basically just like info dumps everything he knows onto the police officers.
Yeah, well, yeah, because these are the people he can like at least trust to like stick with the case. These are the
Yeah.
people willing and this is where we get like the big conversation, which is I think Kira's childish and hates to lose.
Oh my.
Yeah. I like that he acknowledged that because he was like, "Oh, Kira's childish and hates to lose, but so am I. That's the only reason I know." So like, he's acknowledging it.
Well, he is psychoanalyzing Kira, but he is also he and this
Self-aware.
is one of it's one of those interesting things where it's a more interesting version of We Aren't So Different, You and I.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's him being like yeah, it's him acknowledging that they are parallel characters while also not like doing the cringe thing of you and I aren't so different.
Yeah.
It's like him just being like, I understand why he's like childish. I understand he's childish and hate to lose because I am also childish and hate to lose. And also, he has these behaviors.
yeah.
Yeah, because L explains specifically what he means. He points out the exact behaviors that have like given him this profile of Kira.
Right.
Huh.
And then he asked them to call him Ryuzaki from now on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Is there a
He did
reason for
also
that?
do that. Oh no, it's because Ella's paranoid fuck.
So that's
Yeah.
like a fake name, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a fake
Yeah.
name. Yes.
Well, why doesn't he just have them call him L? Because L is already a fake name. Oh.
Well, because he's trying to like stay under the radar even from
Oh, because
Kira.
the
So like when they
public.
say use,
The
Yeah,
public knows
yeah,
him
because
as
like the public hear L.
the idea, yeah, the idea is if somebody happens to observe them talking and they call him Ryuzaki, then nobody knows who
they won't
L
know he's
is.
L. Yeah, you're right. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys good to continue while I just step away to use the bathroom?
Sure. Just Lulu, what part are we on?
I don't know.
Like I said, the childish and hates to lose.
Okay. Do, 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 do. So Yeah, so yeah, he knows how Kira thinks and informs them. They try to hide criminals' name from the public. Kira will kill the innocents in retaliation. Um, L says that they can use the media to inform Kira that there's 1,500 investigators after him to make him feel cornered. And then like Matsuo is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Because Matsuo is like a little like puppy dog. He's just excited to be there. Like remember in episode 7, he's like talking about how he feels like James Bond because he's wearing the special belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fun little character.
Yeah, he's
Light and
pretty cool.
L, yeah. So you know how like I pointed out like in our first stream that Matsuo kind of has a bit more character to him than the other cops. Like I'm sure you've picked up on that by now.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
sorry,
because like
what?
he Matsuo, like he's the one who's like always hyper energetic.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the silly guy.
Yeah, like outside of L and Detective Yagami, he's like the most important. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So, and he's usually with Detective Yagami because a lot of times they'll go in pairs, and when they go in pairs, like the two of them will go together. Light and L go over the events of the 14th through the 19th in great detail. They're both trying to find that one thing that they could be missing. In Light's case, he's trying to think of one mistake he could have made that he needs to correct, and L just wants to find that one clue that can lead him to catching Kira. Um, L admits to the cops that he lost the battle, but he states confidently that he will not lose the war. Kind of a cliche line, but you know, it works.
Yeah.
Uh, and then this is the first, L said this is the first time he ever put his own life on the line. So then he gives a creepy, like Ryuk kind of smile. And he's like, he's just a little awkward little fuck.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's pretty admirable of him that even he's willing to put his life on the line for this. How much it means to him.
Right. Yeah,
He's
like,
usually pretty like cold and uncaring.
yeah. Um, uh,
Yeah.
man, L is so stupid. Why didn't he just watch the show and see that Light was actually Kira the whole time? Yeah,
Bruh,
exactly.
that's
The whole time.
whoever said that's playing 4D chess.
You broke your headset. Uh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Um. Yeah. So then they both just keep repeating to themselves one thing. One thing is all it'll take, and then the one thing is Ray Pembar's fiance. He's the One Piece. I think they even he's the One Piece.
The One Piece is real. Yeah.
One Piece is real, and it's a woman. uh, I think they actually cut away to her as they're saying that.
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
just in case you weren't sure, here's us showing her. Um, and then that's the halfway point. So I
Okay.
always
So naturally, I have to go pull us back a bit to talk about why. Which the why I think is actually important because so the light is just. I feel like light just is like I'm sure I missed something, but L is like L actually has a lot of like interesting reasoning here. That is another thing where it establishes like L is a really smart guy because L has already put together all the experiments that Light was doing were experiments. And he's like, okay, well, Kira started doing the experiments like this between these two dates, which so the idea is like these are the days that it's within this like set of dates that he realized that he was being followed.
yeah the
So
14th to
that
the 19th.
which does actually still help out L a lot because it narrows down the suspects that he has to look at.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything
and
else?
yeah, meanwhile, outside of that, I like the kind of enthusiasm the cops have after like he like is laying out all of this, and then like he's like, this is the information from the FBI about like all of the information from the FBI within those days, and they are like, oh yeah, we need to split off, two of us. So two of us are gonna help with going through this information, and two of us should help with looking into exactly what happened in those like that set of dates. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it
Gotcha.
was like two of us are gonna help with look through the information on these subjects, and two of us are gonna help look into like what happened up leading to these through these dates.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense, I like that. Well, it's what's his name, Matsuda, the
Matsuo.
excited like rookie cop,
Yeah, Matsuo.
Yeah.
Matsuda. Yeah, he is the one that's kind of like laying out the strategy, and it seems like everyone else is like, yeah, that makes sense. Matsuda would have probably been a really good cop, but he's kind of the idealistic cop of the group, and I think that his role is very important in the story because of that.
Yeah, he's a bit of a foil character. To the more straight laced Ifyagami.
Not only the more straight laced Yagami, he is the idealist
Yeah.
in general.
Do you have anything else you want to say in that scene, or should I read the title cards?
No, I think we can continue on. I think you
So,
did
Death.
a good job otherwise.
Thank you. A Death Note title card number 11. If a human uses the note, a god of death usually appears in front of him or within 39 days after he or she uses the note. So it's like, I always thought that was like one of the most random of the Death Note rules. It's like, so there's like a timer. So like, you got like 39 days where you're going to get like sent to like um the Shinigami back rooms for not doing your job right. So did Ryuk
What
did
was the
Ryuk
exact
what?
rule? I was gonna say,
Uh,
can you reread that real quick?
if a human uses the note, a god of death usually appears in front of him or her within 39 days after he or she uses the note. So I guess it doesn't have to be within 39, but it almost always is. I thought that was such a random rule.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because 39 just seems like a really weird number.
Yeah, the only other thing I know 39 from like with like significance is like 39 Clues series, but I doubt it's a reference to that. And also that might have came out after this manga.
It feels like it's a case of like, well, we know we can push it to 39 days. Nobody else has tried like later.
I guess it's kind of like like a like unwritten rule, or I guess in this case it is a written rule that like if you're a
Like,
Shinigami, you should probably check up on your human Death Note user within 39 days. I guess right,
well,
you
yeah,
kind of used rule 39. Oh, he used a week,
well,
right? Is that what it was?
we know that we know just from the last episode that the Shinigami don't know everything about the Death Note. So it might be like this is recorded as like, well, this is the longest we know about before someone had to like check and someone like actually checked in.
I guess the most absent-minded Shinigami went 39 days without checking on where their Death Note was.
To be fair, maybe they were busy gambling.
Maybe. The title card number
But
12. Oh, yeah. What were you say?
I was gonna say maybe they went to casino. They were like, I'll bet I have 82 years left. I'll bet 79 of those. And then they were like, wait, shit, no. No, I need to make sure I get my death note before I actually die.
Maybe. Title card number 12, Gods of Death, original owners of the Death Note, do not do, in principle, anything which will help or prevent the deaths in the note. And that's a pretty important rule, but we'll get back to that another time.
Mhm.
right,
It
Rangy?
is. We will.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones where it's like questionable whether or not they hope or not.
Yeah.
I,
It's
I
always
feel like
funny.
that's one of those rules that I think Ryuk definitely skirts.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but it is funny though, right? That like a lot of these rules are like repeated from like previous episodes, like going over the rules and like it's just a reminder of them. Some of them are like little like little foreshadowings, but like there's a couple like this one there's big foreshadowings that happen like way earlier in the show that by the time you actually get to the point where they're relevant, you'll probably have forgotten it was even a title card.
Mm. Also, it's interesting because the next scene we get is Light is like lounging in bed, and he's like, "It's okay. It's all right. There's nothing I missed. My biggest gamble was the bus attack, and there's no way it can ever connect to me."
Unless
Yeah, it is literally one of those things where it's like, "Ooh, spoken too soon."
yeah. Like, are you sure about that? Are you
Are you
sure?
sure?
Are you sure?
Where is Omni
Uh,
Man? Okay, anyways.
Where is Kira?
There
Are you
is
sure?
Kira.
Are you sure?
Okay, what part are we at?
He's about to volunteer for himself.
We're about mid. Yeah, we're mid episode 6, so we'd be basically Light reflects on that in Dead, and then we get the Light is like asked to like, hey, could you take a fresh thing of clothes to your dad?
Also, Lulu, if you're light on time, heck, get it light. But if you're light on time, we could just finish reviewing episode 6, knowing that we already kind of talked about a lot of the stuff in 7, and then pick up officially for 7 next time we do it.
Oh no, it's okay. I just have a lot going on right now, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I figured that, and just like 7's a pretty big episode, so I figure we could kind of
Well,
wait
so
until like
seven's a big
It's okay.
episode,
I'll
but I
lock
think
in.
6
I'll
is all
lock
set
in.
up. I think we've already gotten the bulk of 6 done, and I think 6 is mostly set up, so we're probably good to just keep
all right,
going.
yeah, that works. I just didn't want to like force Lulu to go on when he's got like other stuff going on.
You see, you're nicer than me. I'm like, oh, you agreed to this. You're trapped here with me. I'm not trapped
Yeah,
here
no,
with you.
I'm not gonna dip. I'm still here. Um,
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
all good. I'm just
He
saying.
wouldn't. Yeah. Look,
I
you
was just
wouldn't have
saying.
committed to this.
Yeah,
Yeah, you wouldn't have
I was throwing
committed.
out a suggestion. That's all.
all right.
Yeah,
All right, all right.
if he needs to leave, he'll let us know.
I think he said that, but
I was gonna say, but well, actually, I said he let us know, but it's on his channel, so we would have to end anyway.
yeah. Anyway,
I do
every
not have a
time.
stream key.
What the dog's doing?
That's
What
a
the
really
dog
funny
doing?
joke.
POV me waiting for my girlfriend to cry at a certain part of a movie.
Nah,
Uh,
nah, she's heartless. I only say that because I'll never ever interact with them.
women aren't real. Women aren't real.
That
Anyways.
is
Yeah.
true. No. Look. They'd have to get online to interact with me, and the moment they get online, they become men. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all women that are online are femboys.
yes, no. So the moment they the moment they make contact with the computer, they become a man. I'm sorry.
You right. Anyways, Death Note.
This is why I'm gay.
Yeah, Rangi is familiar with the online deep lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Every
yeah.
time Light leaves the house, he brings a page of the Death Note with him as a precaution. is pretty smart of him. Always be prepared.
It's smart of him, but it also does imply a level of paranoia that's starting to
Oh, for sure.
surface.
Because realistically, how hard would it be to get rid of a piece of paper? He could eat it. You know what I mean? I wonder what the
Well,
effects of
not only
being.
that, but even if you get like searched or something by somebody, it's like, my God, he had a piece of paper on him. It's like, yeah,
Oh no, because as soon as
maybe.
they touched the piece of paper, they would be able to see Ryuk, which would be a problem.
But that even then he could play it off. He could be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but then I feel like he would rather eat the paper than have the police be able to see an angel of death floating around him. I feel like he doesn't want that suspicion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. But like I said, if he
Ryuk's
ever
not
had
exactly conspicuous.
no, this is what we missed out on. Gaslighting a cop into thinking they're insane.
That would have been a funny like B plot. But
Yeah, like he gets like searched by a cop who's like, I'm searching everyone today, I'm sorry, son. And then the cop searches him and then sees like Ryuk is like, what the fuck's going on?
oh, wait, you're gonna have a cop ask for his papers? What is this, Germany?
Yes.
Your papers, please.
Yeah.
What?
Have you not played Yakuza where you get searched by a cop in some of the games? Like,
No, I'm not. I just wanted to make a
what
Nazi
was it?
Germany
Was
joke.
that Yakuza 0 or Yakuza 1? Might have been
I don't
Yakuza
know. I
2.
haven't played any of them.
It's one of the first. It's one of the. It's either Yakuza 0 because I've been playing the through the like remake games, and there is like
Hmm.
an actual like sub story that is a cop like searching you for like weapons.
Gotcha. Um, so
But
Ray
yeah.
Pembar's fiance figured out he could kill in other ways besides heart attacks. So, oh wow. So I probably went up. I took
Yeah, I
a
was gonna say
big
you
chunk
kind of
between writing
skipped
notes.
there.
Yeah. I think I did that because as I was doing this, I'm like, Rangi's gonna come in next to me.
It's a so the next thing is a bit of a flashback where it is her musing on the events of the last episode and episode 4, where it's like she's just like, on that day there were 4 heart attacks in the Shinjuku area. Uh, outside of that, and she's like, outside of that there was the bus jacking. And
Yeah.
basically she is like musing on like this had to have been like a major like thing,
Hmm.
and she has come to the conclusion, yeah, that what you said actually, that hero can kill by means other than heart attack.
And then
Because yeah, I do
yeah.
think that her being like, and this is the interesting thing, her being like, oh, my husband, before like a week before he died, happened to be in this like weird incident where there was this bus jacking, uh
Mhm.
where the person died of like a random accident at the end of it. He has happened to like show his FBI ID to somebody, and then like a week later he died. Yeah, no, this is actually something that it was like one of the major risks that would obviously, it's believable it happened, but it's also like it is very much a risk I can believe from the whole like, and even Light said that this was a major risk he was taking.
Mhm.
But yeah, outside of that, yeah, we get that Light is trying to call L, and L's like little rule about the phones actually kind of help.
You mean he's trying to call his dad? You said L.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's trying to call his dad, and L's rule about the phones is the reason he can't.
Which that's gonna be pretty useful uh
Yep.
for light.
It is. It
Okay.
is probably that rule has probably saved Light's life.
Yeah, because he probably would have called it an inopportune time, which is funny because later, we're jumping ahead a little bit when he was like really in panic mode. He's like, "What if my dad calls me back? Then I'm screwed." He's like, "Wait a minute, I just
I can
turn my
just turn off
phone
my
off."
phone. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Well,
lock in, light, lock in. Like, gotta
Lock
control the
in.
controllables.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, anyone who's done anything like that their parents wouldn't approve of, or even just anyone who's done anything where they like had to like worry about that as a concern, has had that moment of like, shit. What if I
Panic.
get called? What if? Yeah.
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 What if I get
What is
called?
this
What if
emotion called
somebody?
panic? I
What
believe
if somebody?
humans go through it.
Yeah. What if somebody calls me during this point? What if somebody? What if I have to call somebody and it's like, wait, I can just turn off my phone and keep it with me.
Yeah. Um, the second
You know,
coincidence.
yeah, like with me, I think it was a case of like, oh, I was going to a movie theater and it was like I could just turn off my phone and then when I go and step out to go to the bathroom, I can turn it back on again.
Genius. I was gonna say the second major coincidence of the show is just Light happens to be there at the same time as Ray
Yes.
Parmar's fiance. I know he was going to drop off stuff for his dad, but like the fact that she's
No,
also
this
there at
is a
the same
major
time.
coincidence. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
However, since everything it sets up are all the payoffs because of this meeting, right? Even though Light got
Uh,
extremely lucky, I think it's like worth it, like narrative wise. Like, see, that's the problem with a lot of people who like want their shows to be completely 100% like realistic.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you miss out on like really interesting narrative beats of like, what if this character was put in that situation, even though that
Well,
situation isn't the most likely outcome.
yeah. At the end of the day, this is kind of addressing that, like, is addressing a an open thread that exists. Like, kind of. I wouldn't say a plot hole necessarily, because I think that this was. I'm pretty sure this was intended from the beginning, but it is kind of. Light has to deal with the fact that, like, yeah, the fact that he dealt with something this personally means that he has to address unforeseen consequences. And I think that's the idea of this whole like setup is like, yeah,
Yeah.
any like scheme he has long term like this is going to have unforeseen consequences that he has to plan for in the future.
Yeah.
Uh but also like, yeah, this is a coincidence that he happened to like show up while this woman was here. Uh, but at the same time, we also know that the cops are basically going. They're out of this for like a long period of time. The cops involved with the case.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's a little bit more believability. But yeah, Light just happens to show up to like deliver the clothes here while she's there.
Mhm. And then we get them talking, right? She's talking to the receptionist, and what she says like perks his interest, right? She says something that I have information need to get to the Kira case unit or whatever.
I have information that may lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
That's an oldie but a goodie right there.
It is.
All right, let's start going through this a bit faster because
I remembered that meme and I had to say.
oh no, all good. Just I'm starting to get tired. Just try
Yeah,
to get up a bit.
yeah. I don't think there's anything like particularly. So there's like
Well, there is
it.
one really important thing that happens in this scene
Yeah,
is
within
the
yeah within this
receptionist
scene.
talked about the insurance fraud um case he helped solve back in the day, and like that little line is actually like pretty crucial for the next episode, which is pretty funny.
Yes,
'Cause
and I
it's such a
did hint
nothing
at that
burger at the
episode.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, I hinted at that before because I think that if this line didn't exist, she wouldn't trust him enough
enough.
to like
Yeah,
give her name later.
because it gives him enough credence or gives him enough like believability that like all his bullshit actually is true, right? Like he can mix in enough truth because of that, right? Has enough evidential truth that he can point to be like, look, I am who I say I am because I did this, right? It tracks. I did this, and she's like, yeah, it does track. He just completely gaslights the fuck out of her, and it works.
Yeah. True.
Light is a professional gaslighter.
Yep.
What do you mean? Name 7 things he said that weren't true.
He did like 7. It would be easier to name 7 things he didn't say that were true.
No, he said several things that were like layered in truth. To be
Yeah.
fair.
They also a lot of it was just educated guesses that were correct that he just didn't have any actual information of. But
That's the interesting thing about a lot of the lies that Light tells here is
yeah,
that they are kind of like layered in like true statements.
or that they're like just he's making it up, but he knows he's probably right,
Yeah,
like based
they're
off what his dad
educated
told him.
guesses or layered in
Yeah,
true statements. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he throws in enough half truths, omissions of truth, full truths, like educated guesses, believable bullshit, and he mixes it all together with a smile, and she just buys it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
Because so the way he justifies her like hanging around him is like, oh, well, I'll probably get a call from my dad, so you should just hang around me
Yeah,
to so we know, and otherwise they'll probably return here later.
yeah. I also thought it was funny when he said to the receptionist that he's bad with faces. That's got to be a joke, right? It's like his whole
What
thing is like, what?
what's the joke? I'm sorry.
He's bad with faces. His whole thing is he needs to know people's faces to kill him. Like
Yeah.
him saying he's bad with faces is funny because like his whole thing is knowing faces.
Yeah, that line made me
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it is literally just him kind of playing with with it.
he's playing. He's basically a joke to himself because no one in the room is gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe Ryu.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're
no,
right.
no,
Ryuk laugh. It doesn't take much to make Ryuk
it's a
laugh. To be
joke.
fair.
It's a joke to Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love
Is that
how
Because this
Hey, next
episode and the next
episode.
episode, they actually do pay a lot of attention to Ryuk's expressions, and I
yeah, it's
really
actually a
like
key
that.
plot point.
Is it the
Yeah. What are you
it's
gonna say,
not
Lulu?
this one, it's the second one or it's the next one where Ryuk's
No,
just
no.
laughing the
So,
whole
so,
time?
Yeah.
it's a case of Ryuk laughs in this one and the next one because you have the case where Light tries to kill her at the end of this one, and then Ryuk laughs when she tells him her name.
Yeah, because
Oh
Ryuk
yeah.
basically it's basically just Ryuk's personality. However, there is kind of like an element of like he is kind of probably overplaying it just a tad, just to
Yeah,
help
yeah,
Light out a
yeah.
bit.
Just to mess with
It is
him.
actually she. So the name she gives him is Maki. Was it Maki? Yeah, Maki Shoko, and she gives her that name, and Light is just like, oh yeah, yeah, oh that. Miss Maki, right? And then you get Ryuk laughs immediately after that. Ryuk is like,
Yeah, and then just to mess with Light some more in episode 7, he's like, "So you sure you don't want those eyes?"
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yes, that's honestly. I was wondering if Lulu would think they would take the eyes.
Oh yeah, Lulu, I
No.
was wondering that. You
I
didn't think
really
so?
want him to, but I don't think he's been cornered enough yet. Like I think it's
Listen,
gotta
this was
be
pretty freaking close.
I think it's got to be literally life or death for him to do it, and this wasn't quite life or death. It was just like, oh, if L knows this information, then he's one step closer to me. It's not like, oh, if
No,
she
no,
goes
well,
to
no,
L,
no.
then I'm
Well,
dead.
he wouldn't be one step closer. He'd be the only suspect.
I guess.
Yeah, no, this is actually life or death. This is why the fact
Yeah.
that Light is like given this offer. This is actually because so
Yeah.
she knows that
I mean, he would have enough time to
Ravenbar
like
and
run
the
away
bus
first.
hijacking.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not like he's like in immediate danger. However, as soon as he talks to police, it's only like a matter of like days at most until they figure out it's him. So like
Yeah.
he would have to go into hiding, and like
And
this is not what he
he'd be
wants.
the most. He would be the most wanted person in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
his name and face would be broadcasted everywhere. Like look out for Kira, and like he would have to like find a cult of followers to hide with, and then it'd probably only matter of time before they get discovered, and like basically his whole plan would fall apart. Like it's just he'd be on the run the rest of his life and probably caught pretty freaking quickly because of how much the whole world would be
Even if
hunting him.
he's not, even if he's not, it is a case of he would not be able to operate in the same way he can now.
Yeah, but there's no way he'd be able to get on with it indefinitely. Like eventually, with the whole world tracking him, knowing what he looks like, someone would eventually leak it, and then he's screwed. Especially since L would know what he needs, yeah, how he can kill differently, and like what he needs requirement. They can just. Well, I almost said something that would have been a spoiler for later, but anyway,
Good
continue.
job.
Well, it's interesting because like Light actually gives away some information here just as like a kind of a hook. It's like, oh, I think that Kira can probably affect the behavior of his victims before he kills them, and he is also like, but this is, I think, what he's like saying. After, oh no, this is specifically the scene where she says, yeah, he can control their manner of death as well. And this isn't a minor like reveal if it got to the police. No, because the
No,
moment the
yeah,
police look into this, yeah, he can't conceal any deaths he causes anymore.
yeah. You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I the thing I wrote to describe the whole part of episode 6 where he's like trying to get her name, I just said Light rizzes her up. That was my note.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
no,
know I just killed your husband like 2 days ago, but yo, what up, fuck? So,
well, that's kind of the funny thing because I think that this is one of the things that I'm just gonna say, like it's worth watching for the amount of manipulation and the dialogue between Light and her is actually very much like it's a game in itself. It's like it
Yeah.
is kind of some of the best. We had to deal with the worst dialogue to set her up, but it's probably
Mhm.
some of the best dialogue for like
The first 7 episodes.
him trying to deal with her, especially in
'Cause
episode 7.
they even gave her the blue hair, red hair comparison that they usually only do with him and L. So, like she was a worthy
Yes,
enough opponent to get the blue hair frame.
yeah, it's literally just a case of she just happened to encounter him and happened to trust the wrong person.
yeah,
And also, what ultimately got her to trust him, I know it's jumping ahead a bit, was that he reminded her so much of Elle, who she fully trusts. So it's like ironic, isn't it? That like since they were so alike, it's the reason she died.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I find it
also,
like so like
yeah,
plot
Yep.
convenient that she just like goes against her like
Better
her
judgment.
FBI skills to like trust him.
well, I
Maybe she
think
just
that it would
figures like
be
I don't
plot
know.
convenient if it was like immediate. But you gotta
It's like-
remember,
I
Light
guess
had
he-
Light
like
worked
it's like
for them.
believable. It's like
He's-
believable
yeah.
gaslighting. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he had to work his
spent a
ass
whole
off for that.
episode and a half to build
Yeah.
their trust.
Yeah, because like a lesser TV show,
True.
Lulu would have had him like gaslight her in like 2 minutes, where he spent like a full half hour of television, like just
Yeah.
gaslighting her into
True.
believing him, and it was like
Yeah.
it was well written gaslighting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because she gave him the fake name, and then he's like talking to her, and she's
And then
like,
she asked him to leave, like she did that as well. Like there
Yeah.
was a few steps.
yeah, it's like she learns like, oh, he learns like, oh, someone I know might have met Kira, and I think the important thing is like I think a lot of this dialogue is just learning how much of a fuck up this actually was for Light.
Yeah, he was unraveling, which is why the name of the episode is Unraveling.
Yeah, because he's hearing like, oh, yeah, someone I know Kira might be able to kill people outside of heart attacks, and Kira would make sure not to give heart attacks to victims he's trying to hide the murder of, which is another like major thing. Like, yeah, that is actually one of like the major things of Death Note. It's one of the things that's a problem in the Death Note movie for the live action. But let's go move past that.
So in episode 5, it's called Tactics. Is that named after like Light's tactics, L's tactics, or both? What do you think?
I think it's both.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. A lot of symmetry.
Yeah, the show
6 is
likes to
called
do that
Unraveling.
symmetry. Yeah,
What?
and yeah, it's unraveling because you have the unraveling of the veil that L keeps, as far as the veil between him and the police. You also have the
Light's
unraveling
mental
of
state unraveling.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, because this is like the closest at this point he has reached.
Yeah,
of
he was
being
genuinely
figured out.
freaked out about her
Well, yeah,
existence.
yes, because the moment she talks to the cops, he's done. He's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Which is-
the moment her info and her instincts reach L,
Yeah, it's game over. It's
it's
Jover.
done.
Yeah.
It's
It's
game.
over.
It's
G- It's over.
And that's actually why I really like the laugh from Ryuk. Ryuk is just like, how the fuck
like-
is he gonna get rid of this?
Yeah, because Ryuk's like basically, unless he takes the eyes, I don't see how he gets out of this, and that's why he starts laughing so maniacally, because he did it without the eyes. So like,
Yeah.
he's
like,
just so
impressed.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really gets a kick out of Light weaseling his way out of these situations.
Yeah. It's entertaining for sure.
Yeah, I showed you that clip of him like laughing, and he's like,
That's a funny one.
yes, that's like a really good screenshot. I wish I could show it on stream. I'm not in charge of the stream chat.
Damn, Lulu.
Chat.
He's
Why you
funny.
saying chat? Okay, I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, it's the one I spoiled earlier.
Oh. Yeah, I was curious. I unspoiled it. I unspoiled it, and I was like, "Oh, what's even spoiling about
Yeah.
that?"
Well, yeah. So the joke is that it's the moment after Light
Yeah.
learns the name, it learns her actual name.
This is the image, everyone. Okay, I'm just gonna delete it now. Okay, boop. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's like it freeze frames over this, and like you get Ryuk reacting. But for now, let's talk about what's currently going on. Yeah, it's a lot of like back and forth. It's a lot of gaslighting from Light. Really, that's a lot of what this episode is. Where he's like, "Oh, me and Kira is definitely something that the police would have a hard time believing." Are you sure about that?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Wouldn't
Are you
you
sure?
feel better about talking to that FBI agent instead? Oh, that person is no longer alive. And it's like him trying to puzzle out who this person is too.
Yeah.
Because that's actually something I like is he isn't immediately like he got a name already, but he isn't immediately like, oh, I'm gonna kill this person. He's like, okay, well, what the fuck? What is this person's connection to
Well,
the
because
investigation?
yeah, he also wants to know like what she knows, so like what he can do better next time. Like this is all like a learning experience for him in a way.
Absolutely. Like, he is like, okay, well, what did I fuck up? Well, because he'd already been like, oh, well, I didn't fuck up anything. And now, like, he's like faced with this.
Well, because he thought he accounted for everything, and she was the one thing that slipped through his planning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you wanted to anything else about that conversation. I was gonna say uh wait, no, keep going. I gotta I know it's confusing.
I mean, she learns that. I mean, he learns that, like, yeah. So she's connected to Ray Penber. We get a lot of like flashes around the whole
Ray
identity
Penba.
thing of who it was. Yeah, Ray Penber.
I love how they say his name. It's just with so much like force
Yeah.
every time.
Like, yeah,
Ray
whenever they say
Penba.
like an American name, it's so funny.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
it's very dramatic because it's so outwardly, especially if you're like an anime fan, it's so like non-Japanese of a name. It just stands
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's
Also,
also funny to hear an American name pronounced with a Japanese pronunciation. Like Japanese people speak a lot with their chest, but like when you hear like them talk like English, it's like very from the diaphragm, and it's like Ray Bamba.
Ray Pemba.
Pretty funny.
Yes. But yeah, you also it's really funny because you get a lot of her perspective on the bus jacking, while Light is kind of forced to like pretend he isn't aware of it.
Oh yeah, he's just staring her down like as she like goes over all her correct theories. He's like this, and Light's thinking like, oh, I gotta kill this bitch fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
Frickin'
so
woman.
funny because he already got
Yeah.
her supposed name, but it's like, I gotta kill this bitch.
See,
Shit.
Light is based. He hates women. He's just like
That
me
is
for
true.
real.
That's why he
But have you
gaslights them.
considered that just women don't exist? They're fake. They don't exist.
I already did this bit, Raggy.
I did.
Boo.
So that's why I'll move on.
Recycled material.
Yeah.
I recycle this material every like 6 months. What do you mean?
It's like every 6 hours. You make this joke all the time.
I do.
Um,
Only because it's true.
that's the best kind of jokes. Ryuk, I love how he's so impressed. He's like, damn, Light, she got you good. And
Yeah.
Light's like, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well, Ryuk is. This is kind of the role Ryuk plays. He's just like a viewer. He's just like, oh my god, this twist is great.
Well, he's
Yeah.
the classic fly in the wall narrator, except for he actually can influence the plot, and
Right.
and not only can he influence the plot, he's also like a comedian. He's always got some kind of a joke to make at Light's expense.
Yep. Are we still talking about 6 or are we on to 7 now?
We're at the very end of 6. There's like a few minutes
Yeah,
left.
Okay, I figured.
So yeah, in the sub, it is literally his line is literally so this is the oversight Light was thinking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're fucked, Light.
Yeah. And then Light notes to himself that if she went to the police with this information before talking with him, it would have been GG's. And he said perhaps there is a god inside after all, and he's not referring to a god of death. And then because the episode kind of ends on that because did he already write her name in the death note, or does that at the very beginning of the
No,
next episode?
I think the idea is like, oh, okay, well, thank God I know her name. I know her name. It's GG because I know her name and she talked to me. I know everything she knows now.
She told
Uh,
me she didn't tell anyone else, so we're good.
exactly. It's like, oh, all I need to do is kill her. This is obviously divine intervention. The fact that I
In fact,
don't
you
know
so
that.
casually said that. All I gotta do is kill her.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he even creates the situation where it's like, okay, I just have to write your name in the death note. What did you say again? Okay, so bus incident, going to Spaceland.
Oh yeah, he's trying to take notes, and he's like, "She's gotta kill herself by hanging."
Okay,
And
but first, I think Lulu, you have
we're
to
done.
like set it to episode 7.
Yeah, we're
Alright.
done with 6 now.
Yeah,
Finally.
we're done with
Lulu's like, "We're almost done."
No, yeah, this is like the payoff. I think that like we can just talk about briefly like the themes of this whole like arc at the end. So it'll probably be like a 20-30 minute conversation at most. This is gonna be one of the longer ones, I think.
Lulu's
Well,
like,
we included we wait. I say that, but we included a whole extra episode. So of course it's gonna be one of the longer ones.
Well, I mean, to be
yeah."
fair, we've already talked about like half of 7. But yeah.
Yeah, we have talked about half of 7.
Well, I think
7
for
is so core to 6.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think for 7, since a lot of it's just like really strong dialogue and like we usually don't go into the dialogue specifics. I think we'll actually go through this episode faster than you think because there's not a lot of events that really happen in this episode. It's mostly just dialogue, very good
Yeah.
dialogue, but like we don't really do dialogue breakdowns in this show or this podcast. We usually just do event breakdowns. So
No, I probably do more dialogue breakdowns in my solo streams than we do in this
Mhm.
spot.
yeah, because like once in a while I'll like quote something, but that's we don't usually do a ton of them.
Yeah, I only bring up I only bring up dialogue if I think it's like really funny.
Yeah, you always bring up Ryu quotes.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
Hey,
which
light.
anyways.
it's funny because it is this is where we get actually the scene where it's like Light is just like, oh yeah, and Ryuk is like, well, you can't just kill her here, and Light is just like, oh hey. So well, first you get Light actually being like, yeah, I literally can't let this chick live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just knows too much. She's already theorized about stuff that I've like been like counting on people not figuring out. But on top of that, you do actually have the. Is this the point where yeah, is this the point where you get like it's just like, oh yeah, your theory is really good. We need to bring it to the cops immediately. Have you told anyone else? And then she's just like, yeah, no, I haven't. And Ryuk is even like, oh yeah, uh, are you? yeah, you're lucky. So, are you gonna how are you gonna rub her out? You can't just do it here, like in the middle of it, all of everything. It's gonna look suspicious. And
Rub
then
her
that's when
out.
he's
That's
like,
vile.
well, yeah, rub her out is
Weird
actually
choice
what
of
the
words, Ryuk.
yes, yes. Well, the funniest thing is because this moment, Frank is saying that, but he also knows that she
I don't.
gave him a false name.
Yeah, I don't think he says that in the dub. I think he says like, "How are you gonna get rid of her?" I think that's what he says.
Yeah, yeah. So the exact word for word quote from the sub is, "But how are you going to rub her out?"
Oh, well, what?
But it'd be bad if you did it here.
Yeah, Aaron, you weren't
I
listening.
always come back to Rangy saying the most sus things.
You weren't listening to this whole conversation about how that's like really weird that Ryuk said that in the sub.
No, I went to the bathroom.
Yeah, he says that in the sub, and then the dub he says, "How are you gonna get rid of her?" Rub.
Yeah, to be fair, the site I use might be a
Oh,
fan
whoa,
sub.
Rangy. My subtitle said, "How are you gonna get rid of her?"
Oh,
Yeah, I said the site I use might use more of a fan sub.
I think Netflix's sub is a bit more.
Netflix often uses its own
Yeah.
translations.
yeah.
So the Netflix sub is probably a bit closer to the dub than.
I
Um,
but I like my translation better.
Yours is the funnier one.
Yeah, but either way, it's a literally case of Ryuk is like, yeah, how are you gonna get rid of her? And then
Oh no,
and
he
the
says that in
funny
mine. I just switched over to sub. He says that in mine too.
oh, okay, yeah,
Uh,
so I'm not wrong. Okay, I'm not wrong.
Well, I'm just saying the Netflix one. I'm almost 100% positive.
Wait,
He says rid.
Lulu, what site are you using? Are you using like a legit site or are you
Hi
using
anime dot two. I
Oh,
just
okay, no,
doxed my pirate
you're
website.
never mind, wait, hold on. You are using the same site I am. Okay.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, it's a totally legit website, guys. There's nothing,
Yeah, we paid for this.
sus
We paid for
here.
this.
Yeah, totally.
Um, Well, I assume
Allegedly,
somebody paid for this
allegedly.
at some point. Either way, yeah, so you are using the same, like, sub I am. That's probably why. But I've suspected of that site of using, like, fan subs rather than official subs already.
They might have wrote that in as a joke.
Maybe.
No, but I think that also just could be like it could be a more accurate translation, or it could just be from a fan translation. It it's one of those things where I think it works better actually. I think it
Make some.
fits Ryuk better to say something like that.
You're making Ryuk a horn dog.
No, no, no. Wait, what do you mean? Him saying something more, less specific? Well, also you say that, but you remember, Ryuk has a heart earring.
Dude,
Like
Ryuk is
you.
only gets it up for apples. Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta get me a Ryuk earring for real.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say an apple. Like, what? Are you
Oh
hungry?
no. Oh.
Yeah, but
Oh my god,
either way,
Ryuk
okay.
Ryuk is literally Captain Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean. Holy
Uh,
shit.
the funny thing with the scene though is Ryuk is actively gaslighting Light, where he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're lucky. Wouldn't it be bad if you were here?" And like,
Yeah, and he's like,
and
thanks,
did
Captain Obvious.
and did have her, and she didn't tell all this stuff to you specifically. It's like almost part of me feels like he's just like, well, it's thanks, Captain yeah, and that is what uh Light's statement is, but then once you know the fact that the Ryuk knows that the name Light has is wrong, that just kind of like, oh, he's fucking with Lightyear. It's literally the case of somebody knows the spoiler of the story.
Yeah.
It's like playing around with it.
Oh, yeah, because the light can or Ryu can see when light dies, and since light's future is light's future in flux? Is it? I always kind of forget how the fate mechanics in this world work. Is it like set in stone, or is it in flux, or is it like Schrodinger's
I actually
set in
can't
stone flux?
remember.
Ryuk hasn't said yet, but I would assume since he's the owner of a Death Note, his fate probably changes like every time fucking Ryuk looks at him. So
Probably,
Yeah, yeah,
which might be why he finds it so funny because Light literally went from dying like in the near future to like a much later date because of
yeah.
uh his gaslighting techniques. So Ryuk's like laughing as he got away with it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Cause like it'd be like a big plot hole if like Ryuk just
yeah. Well,
knew
it would be less
exactly when.
interesting. It would
Yeah,
be less interesting for Ryuk, you know,
I guess.
because
yeah.
Ryuk is clearly like invested in this.
Mhm.
Yeah. It'd be like
Like a
boring for
TV show
him.
for him. Yeah.
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 He's
Well,
literally
because
like an audience member of the TV show. Like he's literally us. He just wants to see like shit go down.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole point to Ryuk doing this is literally like it's really boring to for me to like Ryu if Ryuk just wanted like people to die, he would write it down himself. The whole point is to give like a human agency over the Death Note and see what the like story is involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the idea is Ryuk is intrigued by the story of it. But yeah, the way that Light justifies writing her name in Death Note is like, oh, can you give me like what was the date and time of the bus hijacking so I can like write that down because I need to know those details. It's actually a really like reasonable thing to be like, I need to write this down.
Yeah. That's why like I love how Ryuk is surprised. He's like, "Oh, you're just like you just out in the open writing shit down."
They're just whipping it out in
Oh,
public.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
whipping his
He's
cock
like,
out.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's like, you're gonna rip it out in public, and it's like, oh no, no, you created a thing, but then you get, I think one of the best Ryuk laughs in the entire anime here.
Yeah, because he's just cackling. He's like, "Oh, I'm quite bold of you," and he doesn't Light doesn't realize why Ryuk's laughing.
Yeah, because he finishes writing it down, and then he just starts laughing.
Yeah, and he's like looking at his watch. He's looking at his watch. He's like, something should be
Yeah,
happening, right? My experiment,
Oh,
he's
I
like my experiments
okay.
told me that it
You
worked
yeah,
right
he
guys,
now.
full
you
on
guys might
starts
shit on
cackling.
me for this
Yeah.
opinion. I think the dub voice actor for Ryuk sounds better.
I
Especially
remember
when
the
he's
dub
laughing.
voices.
Like his voice sounds fine, but I feel like the laugh, like maybe just because I might be biased because I'm used to it at this point because I'm so far in. But like, I was listening to the sub like voice actor, and I don't know, like the dub one just like does the laugh like better.
I remember
Let me,
all the
wait,
voice
hold
actors in
on.
dub being pretty good. Like
Yeah, keep
I do
talking. Let
think
me. Wait.
I do think the it's a pretty close call between the sub and the dub actors. I think I like the sub a bit better and for Death Note, but like the dub voice actors all do a pretty good job. Like L, or at least for the main ones, like El Ryuk and Light are all like voiced pretty phenomenally by the English voice actors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just listened to both. I see what you mean. But I feel like a lot of the reason that it sounds very natural in English is because we're used to people laughing in English
Apologize
or
is
who
not a
speak
question.
English. You know.
Laughing in English.
I guess you can laugh in
Uh,
other languages, like
Well, no,
Laugh in an
but
accent,
you know what I
guess.
mean.
yeah,
You laugh in
Yeah,
an
yeah,
accent.
and yeah,
Japanese
and
people laugh from the diaphragm. Ha 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 ha.
yeah, you know what, I mean though. It's like people who have like a specific language, they do talk different in like from different ways. Like you
Oh,
said,
really?
there's well,
Did you
not
know that people from
necessarily.
China and Japan aren't from the same country? Oh, really?
Shockingly, no, they
Oh,
aren't.
that's one of the funniest South Park episodes ever. Oh my god! Like I might just make us do a South Park like arc where I pick some of my favorite episodes and I just go over
That
that.
could be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
When's your
Oh,
when's your birthday?
my birthday is in November.
Yeah, we can do it for your birthday special.
Now we could do that.
We can do that, yeah. We can't do a birthday special for me, but
No, fuck you.
Well,
Sorry.
also, it would be too like short notice.
When's your?
Oh, it's coming up.
Oh, because yours is coming up soon. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's like in like 2 weeks.
I would have had one for mine, but I don't know what we would have done.
Ah,
Next
J-Sex.
Yeah.
Well, oh, what's the joke? Oh yeah, Rangi's birthday is a fortnight away.
Wow,
Get wrecked, Rangi.
imagine anyone caring about a fortnight.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Fortnite balls. I'm gay. I like boys.
I
I
can
kidnap
Jackie.
autistic kids. What?
Kids who like Minecraft, NFAF.
Oh, yeah.
But
But
I think
know this meme. But
and
okay.
Sonic. I'm just naming all like the Mount Rushmores of autism. I guess Steven Universe is probably the last
I
one.
was gonna say Sonic is definitely one of the Mount Rushmores of
I would say it's probably Minecraft, Sonic, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Steven Universe would probably be the four.
oh yeah, an Undertale.
I guess we could swap out Steven Universe for Undertale.
Oh, good.
No, there's plenty of artists that are into anime. Instead.
So
Frankie
what
knows
part-
from personal experience. Oh yeah. Back to
Yeah.
Yes,
Death.
I do.
What part are we on? Are we where we
Um,
see freaking Alfred Pennyworth?
No, I think it's
Yeah,
where Ryu.
we
are we on that?
we do meet Watery. Well, yeah, Watery.
What are
Is it? I thought that was at the end of the episode.
No, that's the beginning.
No, well, is
Let
actually
me
is
see
it
my
the
notes.
yeah? So
Yeah, no, you're right. That is pretty soon. Yeah.
well, okay.
That's-
So L concludes that no one, Kira is not among them specifically, which he is right. Yeah.
I think the only thing you miss before Watery, the big thing is Light realizes that she used an alias after deciphering what Ryuk laugh meant, like what his laughs meant.
And Ryuzaki. Well, yeah, we get Ryuk's laugh, but we also get Ryuzaki during the meeting, specifically stating he set some traps. To check if any of them were Kira, and he's like confident at this point none of them are.
Damn, he sent them femboys. That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
guess I guess you know.
He was testing them, right?
I mean, he was testing them.
But yeah, so Watery revealed to them what he actually looks like. It's Alfred.
He is.
Light's got his own Alfred.
Watery is just his Alfred. That is a fact.
So then we cut back to Light, and he's just panicking. He's like, shit is not okay for him right now. Like he's realizing this is going to be almost impossible to get her real name out of her. And he's running out of time and options because like, how does he even get her real name? Like, because even just revealing that he knows she used a
Yep.
pseudonym would be a
And
huge.
it would look suspicious, yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually acknowledges it through his like internal dialogue. It's like,
Yeah.
and she specifically states like, "Oh, why are you following me? Or do you have other business at the police station that I don't know
Yeah, like,
about?"
if it's okay, I'm gonna go by myself now. And he's like, fuck, 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 fuck. He's like, now or never, do or die. Then he like chases her down and like throws a Hail Mary.
Yeah, he has to like he gets into the position he has to throw a Hail Mary. And he has to like make an obvious lie.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's like he can weave his way out of it. But before we
yeah.
get to that,
Oh,
there is they do get Light gives them, or fuck, I wrote Light. L gives
well,
them fake IDs and the belts with the transmitters in them. It cuts
yeah,
back to them again.
we also do get the point where yeah he's following her and he's waiting for the 10 seconds and then it's like the, and then it's like wait what she didn't die and then yeah
Yeah, we
you
went
get
over that
Ryuk
already.
laughing.
Yeah, we did that. Rangy's having
Yeah,
another Biden moment. Okay.
and then after that, yeah, you have the awkwardness.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get Watery, he is basically Alfred. And yeah, you get the yeah, I think it's important. I think next time we should probably just go plotline by plotline unless it like intersects.
Well, usually I do a better job than note keeping because the first two episodes I ran point, but this time it was your job, Rangy. Blame you.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. So Watery introduces like the special buckles, which
yeah.
the idea is if they tap it twice, it calls his phone and it'll call them immediately after.
hmm It's like a James Bond type of belt.
Yeah, well, especially at this time in like history, like
It's
this
supposed to
is.
be what, like 2006 or something.
I think the idea is they are in like early 2000s at least.
Yeah, it's somewhere from like 2003 to like 2008, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
then we're
yeah, they are given like the aliases, which the cops
mhm,
are actually
a little
kind of
a little
iffy on.
uncomfortable. Yeah, but they're like sometimes you gotta bend the rules to like keep yourself safe, kind of thing. It'd be too dangerous to keep using the real IDs.
Well, oh yeah, especially when you're like pursuing like a villain who can actively like kill you based off
Yeah,
your name and face.
yeah,
Because those are the two like elements the cops know
requirements.
about. Which
Yeah.
is it's interesting. The fact is that like, yeah, those are the two elements that are important for the Death Note too.
Which is why I mean, since that's why L was able to decipher it because they are so important that through going through the data, he was able to figure out that based off of who he's
Yeah,
killed, he would need to know those two things.
yeah, because all the like cops whose names were like mispronounced,
Why you keep
and
saying
all the
cops?
cops who
You mean
or
criminals?
the criminals. Yes, the criminals whose names were mispronounced, and the criminals whose like identities the cops didn't specifically like report to the media were spared.
And then
That's
that
what
takes us to the halfway point of this episode. The Death Note title card number 13. A god of death has no obligation to completely explain how to use the note or rules which will apply to the human that owns it. So Ryuk's definitely a firm believer of that one. And then Death Note title card number 14. A god of death can extend his life by putting humans' names on the note, but humans cannot. So that one's just a reminder.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
All
outside
right.
of that, I don't think there's much more like we skipped a little with the belt buckles and stuff, but
Yeah.
outside of that, I don't think there's much more to explain other than like Light figuring out that it was an alias and like oh shit,
Yeah, we did that. Yeah. We talked
yeah
about the phone already. That was a bit earlier in the episode, or the stream, but we did talk about it.
yeah
Um,
it's Light figuring out what we as the audience know.
yeah.
Which
And then
I
my
actually think is an important like theme because this show plays a lot with what the audience knows, what the characters knows, and what the specific characters know.
Yeah, it's like what Ryuk knows, what Light knows, what the audience knows, what the antagonist knows.
Yep, yep,
Which in
Right.
this case it's
exactly.
and which in this case it's uh what's her name again? Naomi?
Yeah,
What's
Naomi.
your name again?
Naomi.
Yeah,
Woman.
this woman. I think I call her a broad at some point in my notes.
This broad, she's just questioning Light.
Oh, here we go. That's okay. So I in my notes I have Light starts lying his ass off. Like bro is just straight fibbing. He mixes enough of the truth and likely correct educated guesses to
Yeah,
make it sound believable.
'cause-
And then I wrote, he almost had her, but she's a stubborn broad and decides to try again at the police station anyway.
well, it's funny too because Light is also like considering like, oh shit, wait, hold on, she lied to me. She already made an alias. I can't just ask her for it. And then it's like
A woman
also like
lying? No.
well,
Bruh.
it's also like, well, I can't acknowledge that she lied to me because at that point that reveals I know something, and,
Yeah.
and I'm fucked.
Yeah,
So
we
the
pushed
reason
out our racist
I
joke for
do
some folks in
genuinely
this
think
episode.
one of the best episodes of the show because I think this is one of the best times where they play with how the characters know information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
True.
agree that episode 7 is one of the best in the series. It's just very well done, very well written, very well paced, very well voice
Yeah,
acted,
yeah.
well
And
animated.
they do a very good job of what information the characters know, what information the characters could assume, what especially with how Naomi assumes information, what information characters like Light don't want other people to know.
Light would be very good at Among Us.
Yeah.
Bro would be the imposter every time and never lose.
Yep. I wonder if
He
that's
would just lie
why
his way
they
out of it.
there's
Well,
literally a
yeah,
Death Note.
it's funny
There
because
is
a
a Death
lot of
Note video
attention
game.
of this episode is Light having to figure out like, okay, what the fuck do I do?
There's literally a
Like
ripoff of Among Us, of Death Note. It's called like Death Note something within. I don't know.
Is
yeah,
that a video? Is that the video
there's
game
a
you're thinking of?
there is a Death Note Among Us game. I know that.
Yeah. I
So
actually
it's
been
the Death
wanting to
Note
play
video
it.
game I have on my PlayStation. Yeah, we should look into it.
There's a Death Note
That could be a
game.
potential stream. Yeah, there's a Death Note
Yep.
video game that was like on PS Plus at some
Death
point.
Note
So I
Kira
have it.
game. Oh, it's for the Nintendo DS.
What's the PS Plus one then?
Might be the
Or that
same
was
one.
PS.
Well, so there is a let me look it up on Steam because I think there was a
Depending on how it
game.
works, that could be a potential game we play on stream.
Yeah, because
The
Oh,
I
Death
Death
think
Note
Note
it's just
video
Killer
like
game.
Among
Within.
Us.
Death Note Killer Within. That one's
Is that what
on
the game's called?
Steam. Not the old one, the new one.
What's the
The
new one
old
called?
one is called Death Note Kira game, which is not a great name.
Yeah, so
I can't even
so
see
the
the
idea
gameplay
with
of
the
it.
Death Note game, it's just like an Among Us clone.
Is that what Killer Within is?
Yeah, that's what Killer
Yeah,
Within is. It
That'd
looks
still
like
be,
it's
I
just
think,
that could be
it would
fun.
still be fun. Yeah,
I think
it's like
that'd be
only
a
like
fun potential gaming stream to do. Get it like
Yeah.
5 to 10 people.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like
only like
chaos reigns.
$10 on Steam too, so we might be able to
$10,
like
I think
yeah, yeah. This is where you get like the
Hello?
for light. A lot
oh,
of
wait,
this
have you
is
wait,
just
Lulu, were you mute that whole time?
No, I think my shit crashed.
yeah,
Uh,
okay. But yeah. So a lot of it is like the tension between Light and Naomi. Uh, Obviously he is dealing with like, oh, she, she did the alias. Okay, well, what do I do? The moment she talks to somebody involving the police, I'm fucked. Uh, that's kind of like a lot of his like situation, and then he's got to deal with like, oh, uh, how do I get her name before she like talks to a cop? That is a lot of this episode. And then eventually he's like, "Oh, I have to change my stance." And this is where we actually get I think this is probably the important thing. It's where we get Ryuk is like, hey, Light, you could always do the Shinigami Eyes thing.
Yeah. He's like
Well, we
hovering
have
it
that
over him.
option.
He's like dangling the keys in front of him.
Well, and this is why I was like interested in Lulu's reaction, because I knew Lulu, you were like, oh yeah, Light's gonna like be put in this position where he has to take the deal.
I still
That's
think
why I
that's
was
gonna
kind of,
happen, but not yet.
yeah,
I
I
think it's
was
too
kind of
early.
wondering, were you considering it as a possibility here?
I don't know. I had a feeling Ryuk was gonna bring it up, and then he did, and then I was like, oh no, like Light's probably just gonna be like, nah, 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 I don't need it, don't need it, trust, and that's what he did. So
That's
skill
fair.
issue for people who need it.
I feel like it's one
yeah,
of those things where it's like, oh, well, it's too. I know there's a lot of episodes already after this, so I know it's too early for them to like pay that off yet.
There's about 30 episodes still.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can understand why
That means we
knowing
got
the meta,
that means we got
knowing
10
the
more
meta.
streams to do on Death Note.
yeah,
True, true.
Oh well. It's gonna be a fun ride. What
Yeah,
part are we on?
I also like that you get her like realizing he's still like following her and being like, "Hey, you have any other business with the police? Like you're still following me."
I mean, he's kind of like
And
stalking her at this point. He's just like staring her down intently.
yeah,
yeah,
basically,
and then after that we get the introduction of Belt, which we've and the IDs which we've already talked about, and then after that we get yeah, he's talking about the theory. He's using that as like kind of his like excuse. It's like, oh, yeah, you have this theory. I think it's like valuable. And it is actually like an accurate theory. That's a funny thing.
Yeah.
'Cause it's almost like the idea is like the amount of time he's like been trying to fuck with her and trying to like throw her off is actually just screwing him over.
Hmm.
And this is where we get like Light is like, oh fuck, so she has 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes, or I'm dead, basically.
Yeah, because he's literally doing the calculation of how fast it would take her to walk back to the police station and tell the receptionist. That's
yeah.
like
Yep.
Bro's literally counting the seconds until his demise.
Well, but that yeah, that's the thing, because the moment she's inside of the police receptionist, that's it. Like if he's
And he,
like
because he,
seen like
yeah,
talking to her and then she just dies.
yeah. Yeah, as soon as
It's
she walks into the build, yeah, as soon as she walks into the building, it's like it's GG's. Like that's like he's basically playing like one of those like video games where you have to like defend supply chain or whatever, or attack it. Like in Marvel Rivals, you gotta like attack the objective, and like as soon as she crosses that threshold, the game's over.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we do get the pause screen. The a god of death can extend his life by putting human names on the note, but
Didn't
humans
we do
cannot.
this?
Yeah, you did talk about this. I'm just
I
like
was wondering if
simply
you were having
stating
another
it.
Biden moment.
No, no, no. I'm restating it because that is kind of the point we are as far as the story. Because I'm kind of skipping over. I'm trying to skip over stuff we've talked about. But yeah, it's like at this point, Light is last minute. He's like having to like figure out. Okay, shit. I have 5 minutes to like save my own life.
I think
And
I would have gave up.
this is when he does the big gambit. This is when he does I would call this the big gambit. Where he like just tells her, "Oh, there's something I haven't told you. I'm specifically involved in the Kira investigation because there wasn't enough detectives.
Which he's
It's
which he
impossible to contact anyone in headquarters."
yeah, he's basically just guessing. A lot of this stuff is probably true to somewhat true, and that's why it's
Well, yeah,
believable.
it is
Yeah.
educated
'Cause it sounds
guesses
true.
based off what he knows.
Yeah,
Well, and a lot of it kind of meshes with
and there's
what is actually true. So it
and
is
he also
believable.
he would know that a lot of cops would drop off rapidly. Like that's the logical conclusion.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
originally there was 150 cops to start this case with, and now there's what, 6?
Five, I think. If you don't count L, five.
Yeah, so it went from 150 to 5. Like that's like huge drop off.
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually an insane.
Like 95% drop off or something like that.
Yeah. So is it's also a case of Uh, Light's statement of like it's impossible to contact. His statement is it's impossible to contact anyone from directly from headquarters, and he's like thinking like, I have to conduct this conversation naturally connected to something she'll latch onto. Within that time, I'll draw her name. And it's like this is like him just doing a gambit because if this doesn't work, he is just dead.
Yeah. I mean, what he could do is if he really had to is take the deal right there and then as she's like walking up the steps of the police station and then write her name real quick and she goes kills herself. But like even then it's like it's still risky because he'd probably be seen um by the other cop, but I guess he couldn't have foreseen that anyway. But
But
because that
he
was
doesn't know her name. He doesn't like
no, no.
in
But
his
if he made
he
the
does that.
deal with the
Yeah.
Death Note, he made the deal with the Death Note eyes. He could kill her before she
Oh,
walks in the
yeah.
building.
I guess he always does have that. That is kind of
Yeah,
like
he has an out, which he just really doesn't want to take though.
yeah, yeah. He because he could within this like 5 minutes take that deal and
Yeah, he like literally could do it in the
kill her
last 30
off.
seconds as she's walking up the stairs. Do it.
Yeah, but that would be a loss for him, and also just in general, it is like yeah, it's something he doesn't want to do at all. So, as far as what he's like reasonably willing to take at this point, this is like kind of the final gambit before he has to do his actual final gambit, you know?
All right. Well, I gotta hop off in a few minutes. So I guess
Okay.
you guys
Yeah,
can keep going on
well,
without me.
I think yeah, we're close to done. We're within 10 minutes of being
We can
done.
speed her
I think.
on.
Yeah,
All right.
because I think a lot of this is just him like pointing out like things we already know. It's him
Yeah.
using a lot of the information he's learned to kind of like leverage it, and a lot of his assumptions are right. It's like, oh yeah, a lot of cops have already quit the thing. There's been information leaking, so they stopped using headquarters as an official like thing. And it's interesting because he's using it almost as a gambit, but actually a it is actually a lot of it is true, but he uses it to imply like, oh yeah, I'm one of the detectives actually on the case. Uh,
Yeah.
you'll never be allowed to talk to any detectives. Yeah, because he uses that as the explanation when she asks why he knows so much. He just
Yeah.
says, "Yeah, I'm the detective on the case. I," and this is what Iron specifically said, where he uses the fact that she heard from like the random receptionist about his, uh, like previous work with the police. He just uses that. It's like, oh yeah, I've worked with police. I've helped resolve police cases in the past. I've worked with the
Right.
police. And that's enough to like
Yeah. That
just by
just
I
barely
think.
convince her. It's like that plus like everything he's learned by being
Yeah.
Kira.
Yeah.
Like everything he's
And then
learned
that
about
she
the
just has a good
police.
feeling about him because she reminds her of Elle. That's kind of like the final
Nail in the
straw to break the
coffin.
camel's back.
Yeah.
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 And then she's and then the sly bastard's like, all I need is a form ID to recommend you. And she's like,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
She's like, well, a
Yeah. Yeah.
Japanese driver's
Well.
license too?
Yeah. Yeah. Well. So what he says is, what we need is a proper identification, a recommendation from somebody on already on the team, and L's permission, of course.
Yeah. Which
Mm.
honestly, all three of those things are pretty believable.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like a proper
it's
procedural.
incredibly believable.
Yeah, so she
And
gives
that
it, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for I lied earlier about my name. I was just being cautious." He's like, "Oh, don't worry." He's like, "Considering the circumstances, I don't blame you for doing so." And he's like thinking in his head,
no,
like, "Yes,
it's not
that's
even that. He's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, no. So you lied. Oh, I didn't even realize. Oh,
oh yeah, yeah,
you must have been a step ahead of me the whole time.
oh yeah." And he's
Yeah.
like, she really was what she was bitter about, which is probably why he rubs it in later.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's funny too because at that moment, in general, it's like he's fucked anyway. Like
yeah,
if this doesn't work, if she gave him a fake ID or something like that, then he's
yeah. But I
fucked
think he knows
anyway.
he's
So
good
he,
this time. I think
yeah,
he knows
he's
he's
entirely.
good this
I
time.
think he's entirely confident that it's worked. But
Yeah,
still,
because like, there's no way she'd give him a second fake name. No one's that cautious.
L maybe.
Maybe L. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, then Ryuk starts maniacally laughing because he knows that or Light won, and
yeah,
then
Yeah.
Light writes her name.
that is where we get the image I
Yeah,
shared earlier.
Yeah, where he starts
yeah.
like
Then yeah,
yeah.
Light writes her name. The Death Note. It starts snowing, which is part of the reason why this episode's called Overcast. The cop walks by with his umbrella up, so he doesn't see Light. It's a bit convenient, but whatever. Um, And
Yeah,
then yeah, 'cause the umbrella literally blocks off the top of like Light's head, so you can only see him from like the neck down. And then because he would
Oh.
recognize who Light is, and then right as Light's about to uh finish like looking at his watch because like it's like he's waiting until it gets to the 40-second mark. She's like, "Why do you keep looking at your watch?" He's like, "Oh, just because the little fact that I'm Kira," and he like grins as she realizes that she fucked up and she's about to die, and then all like the free will leaves her body as she goes off to kill herself.
Yeah. I love
yeah.
how like yeah, when he smiles her eyes like just like widen. She's like, "Oh." Uh-oh.
But
I'm
and
dead.
I'm sure the last thought she was like, if I didn't trust this person, he'd be dead.
Yeah. Probably just
literally,
continue. If I
everything
just
I went.
continued walking to the police station, I would have lived. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Not even just that.
also
If I
probably
never went with him, like it's literally like any involvement with this person just fucked me. Like,
well, it also probably made her realize that like her husband probably died the same exact way, that they trusted um the wrong
yeah,
person and it cost them. And
Yeah.
then they both died trusting him, and he both rubbed it in like because he's a salty little bitch.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this kind of does like does adhere to what Elle says about childish and hates to live.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the end of the episode is her walking off in the snow. He's like taunting her. He's like, "Oh, don't you want to go talk to police?" "No, I don't need to do that." "Do you want to?" "Oh, my dad's calling. He wants to talk to you." She's like, "No, I don't need to." And he's like just laughing.
Yeah.
And then she just walks off. And then like there's a little like image of like her walking to like a gallows. So a little cool, some cool imagery there.
Oh
And then
yeah.
that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, yeah, because
Um,
the whole idea is the moment like he learned her actual name, she was dead. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Her actual name was Naomi Mizora or
yeah,
Mizozora. But yeah,
yeah. Midori.
I'm gonna hop off now. You guys can wrap up the last few minutes or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Is
Well,
there
that was
So
it.
anything
yeah.
Is there anything you want to comment on, Lulu, before we end? I guess.
Well,
Not really.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
But thank you for having me again, Lulu.
Yeah.
You can find me on Iron Mandrill, random people in the audience. Thanks to everyone
Yeah.
for watching. Thanks for being a good co-host, Rangi, and making point for most of it. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. See you, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah, I think we're good to like just if that's the case, because I will say that I think episode 7 there's a lot of like there is a lot of like good stuff we didn't get into necessarily in this episode as much as I'd like.
Oh really?
But well, so a lot of it is character stuff. A lot of it is, I think, just like the meat of it with how the reveal is. I would genuinely just recommend this series, even just up to this point, at least. If I wasn't familiar with the rest of the series, just if I
Right.
did, if this was like my first watching of the series and we were reviewing it based off that, I'd recommend it up to this point because like episode 7 I think is one of the best episodes of like anime I've seen because of how
It's
much like how many of much of the games that are played, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more interesting episodes like thus far. I think it's really impressive when you like sometimes it could be a little boring having episodes be like all dialogue, but like they did it in like a very good
Yeah.
way this episode where like you didn't really care any you didn't really care that
Well,
there was like no action happening. You just cared about like the conversation being had, and that's like really important because I think like when movies are like all dialogue or like episodes of television are all dialogue, it can like lose the audience a bit. But this I feel
yeah.
like sucks in the audience like more. So yeah,
Especially when you're dealing with the normie audience versus the like the actual like people who are paying more attention and whatever. Like so for example,
first
when
time viewers, I
I
guess.
I'm an enthusiast when it comes to like storytelling, when it comes to anime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do see it as this sounds fucking pretentious, but
The,
I do look at it in a different view than when I looked at it when I was younger, for
well,
example,
yeah.
or like but like I do kind of try and because I try and look at things of like the actual like the implications of it and the storytelling aspects of it. And
Mm.
I do know that a lot of people who I would call normies, you know, a lot of people who which yeah, it sounds cringe, but like so a lot of people who like engage in storytelling, they only like pay attention to the very like surface level plot details. It's kind of
Right.
annoying. Yeah, you know what I mean, right,
Yeah.
Lulu?
Well, some people
I'm
just
sure you
don't
do.
watch like. Some people just
Yeah,
aren't that
you put it on
invested.
the second monitor. You put it on the second
Yeah.
monitor. That's what you do.
A lot of people
And
just aren't
that's
that invested into like movies or shows. Like they're not like a
yeah.
cinephile.
They
They
look
don't
at it as
care.
it's like they look at it as it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
fictional. What does it matter?
That's why all
And
the biggest I feel like all the biggest grossing like movies in Hollywood history are just like, ooh, shiny, look what's on the screen kind of movies. Like I would
well,
say
yeah.
Avatar is a cool one because Avatar is like a very thought provoking movie, so it's cool to see that as one of like the top movies like ever.
But even that
But
is very superficial.
just yeah, somewhat. I haven't seen like I've only seen little bits of the movie, but all the rest are always just like blockbusters that are like super surface level, and
Yeah,
I guess there's something wrong
yeah.
with that, but it's still like 90% of the
No,
normal
I don't
movie
think
going
there's.
audience don't care. So
I have a weird perspective where I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Uh, I think that's a natural thing that's gonna happen because
unnatural or natural?
no, it's a natural thing that's gonna happen because
Oh yeah.
you have you have you're gonna have the people who are like big into like the meat of the story and the details of the story, and that's gonna be it. That is an audience, but then you're gonna have people who are just going to pay attention to the presentation,
Right.
basically, and like the vibes, you know. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be another part. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I work a normal job. I understand people who just don't want to like think about stories that much, even though I'm not one of those, and can't like I can't understand their perspective necessarily, but I understand why they have the views they have. Because my view on the whole thing is like, yeah, I understand. You know, you want to get home. You get home. You don't want to like. You don't want to think about like, oh, well, uh, I don't know. Walter White is saying this in this scene. Is that like consistent with his character?
Yeah, most people don't think about that. It's not.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like using it like as an example. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, characters are the big thing, and sometimes, yeah, characters
Hmm.
contradict themselves,
Sometimes.
and it still like it can make it like a much worse character story. It can
Yeah.
also be still like worth it, you know?
I think that's why like people have problems with like franchises, and then like obviously you want your characters to like change and like grow, but
Yeah,
like
you
sometimes
you
they
do,
do it in like
but
the wrong way.
yeah, they doing stuff that
Like
doesn't like make sense
I
or doesn't like vibe or people feel
yeah.
like destroys the character.
I actually have a really good
Uh,
example.
well,
So I was rewatching all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies with my girlfriend, and
oh, that's actually an interesting thing to bring up because I've
I
also recently
gotta rub it in your face.
rewatched several of them.
Oh,
I
you
think
guys
you and
did?
I are in the same disc. No,
Wait,
same
Highmark
Discord.
watched all the
Yeah, they have been
what?
recently. Yeah, that
That's
Discord.
funny. That's funny. But no, I was gonna say, Jack Sparrow is supposed to be like regarded as literally the smartest pirate ever, and then in the final movie, he's like fucking dumb
He's a
as
retard.
rocks. Yeah,
Yeah, he is retarded.
he literally
Uh,
is. Yeah,
yeah, and that movie is awful. By the way,
I like
the
it,
fifth
but
part.
it has problems.
Yeah, you're wrong. That's fine.
To it has likable qualities, but it's
No,
not.
not only are you wrong, you probably should be beaten for that opinion. But okay.
I think the fourth one is worse than the fifth one. I like the fifth one more.
Oh wow, that So I think that the fourth is also really bad,
Fair.
but I think it's better than the fifth one. I think the fifth
Okay.
one is just god awful.
I
I hate
yeah,
every character in the fifth one.
I can understand that because the writing in the fifth one is just like super like flawed. Like not like the fifth one is just objectively horribly written, and I can see that like destroying the movie for a lot of people. So I understand.
Well, yeah, the writing is kind of the whole story.
Well, yeah, yeah, it's okay though. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah.
yeah,
At that point, it's just how we see stories and whatever, you know.
yeah.
But yeah. Outside of that, is there anything worth talking about? I guess in the next like few minutes.
I don't think so. I think we got
About the
everything.
story, or do we can move on to like just plugging our stuff?
You can plug.
Okay. Well, you know what? Since Iron left, I'll plug his stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so our co-host who left, Iron Mandrill. You can check him out at Iron Mandrill. He's gonna be linked in the chat, well, or at least in the description. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's working.
if
It's working. I checked.
YouTube didn't, no, I did just check. It is working. Yeah, so
Okay, good.
he does some videos on like a lot of like cinematic history stuff. He does a lot of stuff on the MCU. He does a lot of stuff on that sort of thing. His last video was that doesn't involve me specifically is on I believe it's on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier movie. So yeah, he does stuff on the like MCU stuff. Outside of that, I do streams. My channel is built on streaming stuff. I do stuff like this show. If you like this show, I recommend my channel. Outside of that, I also do gaming content. I'm currently doing a I'm currently doing a series on Red Dead Redemption where I'm playing through that. You can check me out on. Generally, I try to stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Uh, but sometimes I stream on Fridays. But yeah, you can check me out there. I also do anime review content. I do streams on anime content. And yeah, so if you're
Freaking
interested in
weird.
anime, yes, if you can check me out. My recent stream, which I actually don't think is one of my best, but you check it out anyway, so that it boosts me in the algorithm. Is on Michiko and Hatchin, which is an anime series that's somewhat tied to Cowboy Bebop, based off like people involved
Oh,
in it.
it's like the same creators, right?
So that's actually an interesting thing. It's not the same creator. Basically, it's they hired the director of Cowboy Bebop as a music director.
Oh, okay.
So they were going out of their way to like connect it to Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
And I believe the director has directed an episode of one of his other shows. So it was
Oh,
probably a
okay.
case of yeah, so she's kind of been involved in his work before. So
Right.
it's fair to like say like, oh, okay, like there's people in common here, but it is also like it's weird because the advertise is from the creators of, which is like it's kind of unfair to say, you know. It's like you're kind of misinforming consumers here.
A little, yeah.
Uh, I blame Lulu.
Yeah, it's my
He
fault.
told
My
them to
bad,
do
guys.
it.
Whoops.
He
Alright,
thought it
well,
would be funny.
yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you
Subscribe.
very much.
Oh yeah, no, we gotta.
Subscribe to Lulu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Give him money and
Yeah. We
I
gotta
don't
do
know,
our
send
joke.
dick pics.
If you don't subscribe, we'll write your name in the death note. So,
Yeah, if you don't subscribe, it says Lulu dick pics. We'll write your name in the death note.
yeah. Yeah, we gotta keep that joke going after every stream. Alright. Goodbye.